Welcome to Creating a Life in Music. My name is Mike Salo. I'm a guitarist and music educator from Minneapolis, Minnesota in the US, and I want to know how other musicians make their living, how they got there, how they sustain it, and most importantly, the insights and tips they may have for the rest of us. I interview musicians from all over the world, from various parts of the music industry to break down the question, how do I do music full time? So join me as we discover the many different ways to create a life in music. If you're a guitar player who's ever wanted to attend music college but couldn't because it's too expensive or too far away, or maybe you're just beyond that point in your life and you're just too busy with your own family and your own career to commit to something like that, I would highly recommend going and checking out fretboardbiology.com. At only $29 a month, Fretboard Biology takes out all the guesswork, putting the right things in the right order. It's highly structured, highly organized, college-level guitar program designed by one of the top guitar educators on the planet, Joe Elliott. Joe was head of the guitar department at McNally Smith for a number of years, where he designed the entire guitar curriculum, as well as being head over at Musicians Institute in Hollywood for many, many years. He knows what you need to know. And you can get 50% off your first month when you go to fretboardbiology.com/register-salo, my last name, that's S-A-L-O-W. So fretboardbiology.com/register-salo. In today's episode, we talk with guitar player Al Joseph. Al is best known for his contributions to JTC or JamTrackCentral.com, where he's released quite a bit of educational material. He's also a solo artist and has released several albums as a solo artist as well through his band Hive Mind, where he's lead singer and guitar player. And you can find all that music on his website or on Spotify. He's also a Kiesel artist, as well as having his own educational website, Shredfest Academy. Me and Al go way back, so at times this conversation might get out of hand, but not too much. We have some drinks and some laughs, and we kind of catch up since we hadn't talked to each other in quite a bit. So I hope you enjoy the conversation I've had with Al Joseph. But yeah, dude, so I appreciate you doing this. I mean, this feels weird because it's like, I feel like we're actually just hanging and having drinks, and I don't even want to like follow what I planned on.
People don't know that we're homies. Dude.
I know.
I don't know how many drunken like NAMM show parties.
Yeah. You're like my You're like my oldest friend via the internet. Like,
wow.
Via like meeting someone off the internet. Because I met you at my first NAMM as well, because like we met for in person there. I mean, I knew Andy Wood, right, but like Andy kind of always hung with a different crew, where like I saw him every once in a while. I knew Hadris. I forgot Hadris too. Hadris and you are actually my oldest friends from like the internet world. I remember I used to like remember fresh out of college, living in a basement and like Facebook messaging Hadris back and forth about gear, like one night.
Good old times, man. Them good old days.
Yeah, dude. Oh no, I'm not really living in a crappy basement and contemplating what I was going to do with my life.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, we've all been there, bro.
Right. Yeah, dude. Shit. Yeah. So, dude, it looks like you're doing like some crazy shit with the Shredfest. Is it Shredfest Academy?
Shredfest Academy. Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at it today and I was like, this man's been listening to a lot of the same people I think I listen to on podcasts and stuff. I was like, he's going down the same road. Cause like I saw everything was set up. I was like, so do you listen to Alex Hermosi at all?
I've heard of him. I think my brother actually listens to him.
I bet you'd like him.
Okay. Yeah.
He's like an entrepreneurial. Yeah. He's like an entrepreneurial dude. He's got to start from like gyms and stuff. So like he was kind of one of the first dudes to do the whole kind of gym business thing. I think what he used to do was he would basically find gyms that were failing and come in and take over and just bring them back to life.
Yeah. And, I think I know who you're talking about.
He's like our age.
Okay.
And he's like 100 millionaire. He's like loaded.
Realtor? No.
No, Alex Hermosi. He's got a big beard, dark hair and big beard.
He's like kind of jacked. He's like jacked, right?
Yeah, and he wears like cut off jean shorts all the time.
Okay, I think we're on the same platform. We're both on Lightspeed VT.
Okay, what's that?
So that's what the whole thing is. That's how they gamify like your content. So basically, instead of people getting, a download of like a bunch of stuff. Like, you know how they mostly are, right? They download all your videos and it's like, oh, learn these licks or whatever. And then you just get a folder full of tabs and it's like, good luck. This is way more interactive. Even the videos interactive. Like you have to record like loops and stuff like that, which are kind of a learning curve. But once you get them down, it's actually really cool. There's quizzes that make sure like you have to pass them before you get to the next bit of content there. And so on, dude. So
what's this called that you use?
Lightspeed VT, Bradley. It's his company.
But yeah, dude. So one thing I wanted to do with this is it's funny. I didn't want to do a podcast at all, really. But my whole goal over the next year or so, or many years actually, is to just have YouTube and all these different outlets, just different sources for people to kind of consume educational material about music and about guitar and everything. Essentially, we're kind of in the same realm. You're doing it way better, but
there's a lot of sacrifice behind that, though, man. I
mean,
dude,
I believe you.
The music and everything. It's just I had to put everything on the back burner for it, So, and
that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I was really in the educational sphere in town, where I was teaching at a college, and then I'm at an arts high school right now. But like, I'm just like, this can't be the thing. And with the Instagram thing going well, it's like, why have I not been doing this the whole time? Like, I need to really
I woke up and I was like, fucking Mike, man. I mean, you were like at like 14,000 or something like that. And I was always saying to myself, on the low, like, because you deserve it, obviously, like, shit, man, what the hell does this guy need to do? This guy is like as bad as he's badass as anyone I know. Like, and then I looked up one day and you were at like fucking 70,000. I was like, yes. Fucking go, dude. Cheers to that, by the way.
Yeah, man. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought if you actually teach people something that they'd be interested? That's why I laughed at your comment on that podcast. What is it? Turn that shit down.
Yeah.
I laughed because you were just like, fucking guitar players. Like, everyone's just trying to be like, look at me. And like, I say it in that way because I'm making fun of myself. Because like, I was guilty of that. I think we all are. And only until you realize, like, what am I actually providing to the people I'm trying to get to? Like, me sitting here wanking off and showing how good I am. It's like, what is that providing? Like, plenty of people can do that. And I've had this thought for a long time of like, am I breaking boundaries? Am I really changing the game with what I'm doing on my instrument? And can I? And having that realization of like, I'm not really that guy. I'm a like a wear many hats type of guy, that I try to be that way. And then I have like certain lanes that I like to go down with my personal music. And but yeah, dude, I just realized like, I'm not Tosin, and I'm not like Steven Taranto, or what's how he says, I don't know how he say his name. He was like a super shredder.
Yeah, that guy's amazing, dude.
But they're like, there's dudes out there that are like, that's even a bad example. Like, what's his name from Polyphia? Like, these guys are like changing the way people hear the guitar and see it, and they're changing the way they play it, and which is great. But I'm just like, wow, they're doing so much work to like make that shit happen. And like, that's not the route I'm going down at all. Like, it's like, I really have to start from scratch.
And you really also got to understand too, I mean, as much as you want to be the game changer, I mean, there's only going to be so many, but that doesn't mean anything. You can still sell records. You can still kick ass. You just need to provide a service. I think like what you're saying before, like, dude, I mean, we still have respect. We still have fans. We still have the greats of the greats watching us, and they know who we are. For sure. And they're like, holy shit, this is awesome. I just think that what we are forgetting is that the way the music industry was built was to sell song files, right? These copies of the masters that they own. So when people are done hearing a certain thing, not that they're done, but they just need more variety, because again, the style itself is so old, right? But that doesn't make it bad. It's almost like a hip hop, right? But it's, how can we create a culture where people are like, yo, these guys actually are, they're men, they take care of their shit, they answer their their texts or their comments or whatever. They provide a service. They're actually working a whole. Of course, they're going to buy your album now. So,
dude,
I think we're innovating the way that people absorb musical content. Again, I could be fucked to get with a label again. Forget that. Because what are you here for? I already have to do everything. So I just think having that other side where people know that you care, I don't think it's becoming less of a competitive thing and more of a collaborative thing. Like I can see, like my buddy Lucas Kochka.
Mm-hmm. I know him. He's hit me up before.
Okay, dude, we do this every week. We've been doing it since January. This has been a whole year now, and I had the
feeling you were, yeah.
Dude, he's helped me monumentally. I can't begin to tell you some of the shit we're gonna talk about, man. So but anyway, genius guy, man, genius. He's on the same kind of vibe. But anyway, so, but yeah, we were just talking about how this is gonna kind of revolutionize how people see guitar, and the main thing is that we're not gonna have to be doing this gas station price thing where I lower mine, then you lower yours, and then you go up here. People are going to buy from you because they're buying from you and you're providing a certain thing. And if people are going to buy fucking 50 guitars, they're going to learn they can learn from me. They can sign up to my premium. They can sign up to your premium. They can sign up to his premium. So that's another thing that I'm loving, that I don't see in this next wave of how we do what we do, is that there's not going to be any need for that negative competition,
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
yeah, man.
I love it.
Yeah, dude. I see it as the same way. It seems like there's this. I heard it recently. I listened to Lewis Howes a lot. School of Greatness, another great podcast. That's how I discovered Alex Hermosi, actually. So Lewis Howes has just do you like Lewis Howes? You watch him?
No, I'll bug you later and you just write me a list.
Yeah. So it's, it's my audio medicine or my audio therapy or whatever. I don't know what to call it. It's just I choose to listen to that stuff on drives and when I'm working out, as opposed to,
dude, I do the same thing.
Yeah, man. I find I divert and I fall off the wagon as far as productivity. This is so counterintuitive, but the more I listen to music, the more I just kind of fall off my productivity. I need that reinforcement of those intelligent people in the industry talking about you can do this because of this is how you'll do it. Blah, 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 all these different advice things. When I hear that every morning, I'm it sets me up for I don't mind working 12 hours the entire day. It doesn't bother me because I just see it as a means to an end, as opposed to I really want to just sit down and play video games and have a drink. Yeah. And, dude, it's turned into I don't enjoy that anymore. Sometimes I'm I think I'm going to go downstairs and play vids and have a drink. And I sit down there and I'm where's my computer? And I just grab my computer and start doing shit on that instead.
Dude, that's insane. Because I'm actually kind of, the other day I was man, is there something wrong with me? But it's no, this is the juice now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can it just like you said, the discipline is there now, and then that becomes the drug right now. Yeah. I think what it is, because I'll sit down and I'll just take a break or whatever, and yeah, I'll just be dude, man, let me put on that new Netflix or that new fucking that Disney Plus or whatever, the Hulu, and then I'm watching it. I'm man, let me put on some YouTube, bro. Let me get these podcasts out, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And then when I go to the gym in the morning, when I hit the gym, dude, yeah, people I just bought these new pods and shit so I can not be running into myself, because I don't want to be cutting all this information off. It's either a book by Audible, or it's some kind of podcast, or some course that I'm taking. So I'm totally with you there. I don't even want to do dumb shit anymore.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm working out, I will, if I'm feeling really sluggish, I'll put on an album that I know will jack me up. But otherwise, It's mostly podcast. If I just feel it's a normal day, it's those days where I'm fuck, because I even work out. I'll get up, and if I've drank the night before and have a hangover, the first thing I do is try to sweat, because I'm this will help with my hangover. But those are the times where I'm like, I listen to like my favorite Tesseract album or like Meshuggah, and I'm just like,
Hell yeah.
Otherwise, otherwise on my normal days, I do that. Yeah, man, that's great. I figured, because I could tell by like a lot of your videos, I was like, this man is listening to similar people that I'm listening to.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, it helps, man. Like, there's no room for, you need someone kind of, I treat podcasts and a lot of these people as like, I don't have a mentor and I don't have like people kind of cheering me on. I mean, my girlfriend's very supportive. And she's always like, yes, that's great. Do that. That's awesome. Like super supportive.
By the way, dude.
Thank you. Yeah.
I remember things before. So
yeah. Which was not a supportive environment. When the college closed down, it was, you should really get a real job. That was not this correct. So Shelby is amazing. She's great. And but yeah, dude. And damn it, where was I going with that thought? The supportiveness. So like the podcast thing, man, like it's almost like this digital version of someone going, yeah, man, you can do it. Like make it happen. Like get your shit done. Fucking go do it. And that's why I think I like him so much. Cause it's like, it's almost like that just person kicking me in the ass to get shit done and to not be worried about like all the negative things that come up in life. Like, just don't worry about the stupid shit.
Right. Yeah.
There's no reason for it. It doesn't help at all. Like, it doesn't help because I've gone through stuff where you think very negatively, and those negative kind of pathways, they don't help at all. There's no use of sitting there going like, what if this happens or this or this or this?
Right.
Man. So that's why I listen to that stuff all the time. But if you're a guitar player or bass player, you should really have a copy of Guitar Pro tablature software. I've been using Guitar Pro for like 15 years, and I really can't live without it. At this point, it's sort of an industry standard within the guitar education realm, and it's really easy to use. You can make all your licks and write out all your songs, and you can actually use it in conjunction with ultimateguitar.com, where you can download Guitar Pro files and learn all your favorite songs. So I couldn't recommend this software enough. And if you use the code MikeGP at checkout, you can get 10% off your copy of Guitar Pro 8. That's Mike, MikeGP at checkout, guitar-pro.com. Yeah, man. So the real thing I wanted to get into mostly is like kind of just how your career is going in general, like all the different things. Cause I know you're doing a lot of different stuff, or at least you have done stuff in the past that is still affecting what you're doing now, as far as like even the minuscule bits of income coming in from like all these multiple sources. Cause the way I run what I do, and the whole goal going forward is like, there are big sources of income, and then there are these itty little bitty spots that just kind of add $100 here, $50 there, $300 there. And that's kind of the way I live my life. And I know a lot of musicians that treat it this way. And I'm glad we're talking about kind of listening to these entrepreneurial guys, because I've always treated being a career musician or music teacher is always kind of in my mind been like, it's more of a small business owner, a music entrepreneur. It's kind of like how everyone does it. And I don't think enough people talk about it like in these forms. So I thought it'd be really interesting to actually get people's insight of like, this is what I do. This is how I did it. This is what I would tell other people to do, type of thing. That's the whole kind of idea of it in general. So I guess what I would think would be most helpful is like kind of starting from the beginning and how you actually got to the point you got at. So like, you have a pretty musical family, like your brothers play.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
was, like, you guys always play? Like, did your parents, like, were they musicians or anything, or?
Yeah. So, my late mother was, a singer, and then her whole side of her family are all, musicians, in the gospel world and all that stuff. They all did their thing at one point. So they're all extremely talented. My dad is an island boy that has never been a musician his whole life, doesn't have a single musical bone in his body, yet he taught me which guys to listen to. Like Joe, that was all him. You know what I'm saying?
Satriani?
Yeah, that was all him.
Nice.
fuck.
How the
So
hell did you
playing that
find?
shit- and this is after my mom passed. So like, you know, I got into drums, and then I was playing at church and stuff like you do, you know, and then
Yep.
um got into metal, got into like Corn and stuff in school, and you know, all that shit. And then I got into
The seven. I'm pointing to the seven. That's it.
yeah,
That's where
sir.
you got the seven stuff.
Baby. Seven. And then my dad bought himself a guitar from like Sam's Club or some shit. And then I ended up playing it more than he did, and then I ended up like never putting it down. And then I pretty much kind of forced or encouraged my brothers to play, and they ended up being monsters as well. So there you go. So
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense then. Yeah. My brother actually guilted me into playing guitar.
Okay.
Because my oldest brother is 6 years older than me, and he's kind of a hard ass. Like he's if you don't know him, he can be intimidating. Not anymore. He's softened up because I think he's got kids and stuff. But anyway, yeah, he did that to me. Like I don't know when it was. I was like 14 or 13, and he was like, you know, playing video games is really lame, and you should really pick up the guitar and play that more. That'd be way cooler.
Love it.
I play guitar, and that's stupid that you're just playing video games all the time. And I was like, is it? Oh my God, it must be. And then I started playing guitar. Yeah, man, older brothers, they'll get you.
Yeah, man. That, like my brother, you know, Steve, I mean, you know, we both ended up going off and playing ball in college, which was a great experience and stuff. So I understand how Madden would encourage him to like, you know, like want to be a top athlete and stuff like that. But I was like, yeah, but you know, we have a gym out in the garage. We have pads outside in the yard. We have the hill that we run. Like we already do all this shit. So like, don't be sitting around scoring points on here. Score some points in life, you know?
Dude, make life the game.
Yeah, make life the game, dude. I can play drums. How many people can say that? How many people would give up half of their fortune? You know, these guys out here worth $500 million or whatever would give up half of that just to know that they can like play some music, dude. Get on the stage and rock out like Johnny Depp does every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Shit. Yeah.
Dude, Bill Burr plays drums, man.
Bill Burr plays drums, man. Red Armor. Shit. Yeah. Like all these guys. I mean, nothing comes to mind right now, but like, it's crazy. I'll be watching movies and stuff. Bruce Willis.
Dude, he has a band. Keanu
Reeves. Like, yeah, like all these guys. And like, so, you know, good for them. But yeah, man, like video games are they're just so stupid, you know, unless you're making like crazy money. Like I understand that these
right, exactly.
It's more of a social venture for them than it is like the game itself. But you know, it's sad. You guys older than you that are just like, you know, spending 6 hours a day, and it's like, brother, how do you have advice for me in life? I just watched you fucking, you know how much work I just got done in like the last 6 hours. Come on.
Yeah, dude. I do have, I say like once a year, I have about like a 2-week stint where I almost just get it out of my system. And the older I get, the more that goes away. The more it goes away, the older I get. Like I'm more like, I sit down, like I try to pick up a game that's new and cool. And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then like, I just picked up one recently and I just was like, yeah, but I don't want to play this. Like, I don't want to waste my time with this.
Isn't that nuts, bro?
It's weird. And it's not, you know, everyone's different. Like some people have their job that, you know, I know dudes who have their 9 to 5 that pays them very, very well. And then they come home and they're like, I'm going to play a little bit of vids. That's what I want to do. Like when Charlie's home from Five Finger Tour, he's like, I'm playing vids. Like I'm going to sit and have a drink and play video games like for the next, you know, 2 weeks while I'm back on tour. And then he'll meet up with friends and stuff. But
right. And again, that's way different. That's someone
totally.
You know, operating on a very high level at all times, you know what I'm saying? And we are in our own way as well.
Yeah.
And like if every now and then, you know, you want to do that because this is our career. This is what we're doing. And we're the best in the game at it. So if you want to play video games, cool. But there's like a lot of friends of mine. I hope you're listening. Get the fuck off goddamn Smash. Give the fuck about that stupid fucking game. Fuck. Anyway, get off that shit. Go to the fucking gym. Be able to bench. Dude, like
you're like that guy from Instagram. Go to the fucking gym. You ever seen that guy?
Oh yeah, I love that guy. Swole enormous. This guy. Yeah. The guy looks like Thor, right?
Yeah.
I love it. I love his shit, man. I love his
go to
shit.
the fucking gym. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen him. So dude, I'm the same way. It's like same with practice. Like go practice. Like you're not happy where you're at with the guitar. Like
Yeah, you
don't,
exactly.
because you'll sit down and the thing that you don't notice is like, this always happened with me, is like you sit down thinking like, oh, I don't really want to practice right now. But as soon as you get in just the minuscule, like the minor flow, it just starts to come. It just starts to like, you just start to kind of build into like a flow of doing it. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, you're like, oh, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Like, I mean, it's like the gym. It's like gym time, dude. Like people are like, oh, why are you doing that? It's like, dude, it's not just how your body looks and all this kind of shit. There are guys that go to the gym, they look way better than me. I look like a pencil next to these fucking guys. So it's not about how you look either, or how strong you are or whatever. It's just more about like retraining your body and mind. Again, dude, like I am Netflix hero, bro. I am like that fucking guy, bro. Like I want to watch all this because I'm really actually into the art. I love videography and all that type of shit. But it's like, at some point, it's like, dude, I really want to hear what, like, you know, so-and-so wants to say about this, man. Because like, I've been really thinking about this. And then you get the answer, then you go out there and you apply it and you're like, hell yeah, this is awesome. I feel like I'm beating a video game right now.
Right.
Like
I do this. Yeah, man. I do that. Like instead, what I've been doing recently is like, when I have that kind of urge to kind of, because usually it's kind of, I just need like, this sounds weird, but I'm a person who like every like few, like once a week, I'm like, I gotta just chill in the basement by myself. And I always think it needs to be me playing video games. That's what's gonna give me my free time. And I've noticed over the last year or so where like I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I end up just doing work instead, which is totally cool. Like I enjoy it. And other thing I'll do is like I get a lot of enjoyment. I'll just like pull up a random guitar player that I know I like and just start transcribing like licks. And I'll start doing that. And that's like, because it's awesome. It feels like it's like playing a game. Like I was doing it with Robin Ford the other night. I just threw on Robin Ford. He was playing a blues and it was just like 3 minutes of him just making stuff up. And I was like, oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? You know, type of thing. And
that's dope. That's good advice, man.
You got to find games. You got to find games in the guitar. It doesn't have to be sitting down and just like, or any instrument. You don't just have to sit down and just like go, have to run my scales, have to run. You can find these games that are enjoyable in these moments when you're like, I have time to kill. I've done a shit ton of stuff all day. What's the most enjoyable thing I could do that would actually gain me something instead of just like noodling? You know, I think just grabbing shit from other people is like, that's going to add so much to your playing, man. Or at least it'll add something.
No, I mean, of course, no, it'll add. I mean, that's like everything. I mean, come on, we wouldn't be here if we didn't do the grunt work of like transcribing the greats when we first started, right? You know.
Oh yeah, I try to tell people that all the time. There's been guys who've argued with me about that online, and I'm like, you don't understand how other people do this.
Right.
Like, that's what everyone does this. He's this one dude claimed he's like, Joe Pass didn't do that. I was like, have you listened to Joe Pass? Like. He sounds like a jazz guitar. He sounds like a jazz musician because he plays like the other jazz musicians. Like he learned these licks from all these horn players and piano players and, you know, guitar players before him. Like he didn't just like go, I'm just going to make shit up.
I know, man. You know? I know. How are you going to make up like solid ideas like that out of nowhere? There's no way, you know, it's a language. So, you know, we don't go to school. Yeah, we don't go to school like, you know, they don't teach us, you know, letters and phonetics and, you know, parts of speech and sentences and how to write paragraphs and all that shit until after we can already speak.
Yeah.
And where did you learn to speak from? The professionals. Your mom, your dad. People who've been speaking. So yeah, these people just they're always looking for an excuse not to do the work. But that's the thing. That's the hardest thing. It's like I almost hate telling them because they sign up for like say the courses or whatever, and they're like, man, I'm gonna get sick. And I'm just like, yeah, but a big part of what I teach is transcribing. Like, you know, you have to be like, are you like, that's one of the main things in the free calls that I do. It's like, are you even into guitar music? Not really. Okay, cool. Are you into songwriting? Not really. Okay, well, dude, not for you. Like, you're not going to come here and get anything out of this. I'll tell them straight up, because I don't want anybody here, dissatisfied or,
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Interesting you bring it up because, I do nowadays, I get a lot of eager students, but still, one or two will always kind of be like, there's just this, they're looking for the secret sauce. They're looking for the secret recipe. And you're just like, yeah, man, like I'm showing you. And they're like, yeah, but like, I really want to play like this. It's like, yeah, do this and these 50 other things that I'm going to tell you to do. And that's how you get the secret sauce in 5 years or like 3 years or 2 years. Depends on how much work you put in. Could be a year.
Right. Right.
Cause it's like, there are a lot of steps in incorporating these things into your playing that you want to incorporate into your playing. And I would assume that goes with a lot of other instrumentalists. It's like you want to play over a blues, like you don't want to use the blues scale the whole time. All right, we'll practice using the major pentatonic. Well, I don't really like the way that sounds. It's like, what? It's one of the things that you need to practice in order to get these down. You also have to transcribe and realize, oh, this could be analyzed as a major pentatonic thing. This could be analyzed as a minor blues thing. This could be analyzed as like, oh, I'm playing the third of the chord or whatever. And it's like, It's not just this thing. This thing is something to practice. And then you can practice another thing that helps you to improve over the thing. And then you can practice, there's like more than one, remedy to get the result. And sometimes people don't realize that. And I'm sure you run into it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I think the main remedy is, again, hey, dude, are you into guitar music? No. Shit. Because it's like, bro, do you understand? I can't play the way that I do unless I'm actually feeling this music and I'm actually like quantifying. I'm regurgitating so much data that I've accumulated over the last like 25 years or so that these guys, like, they think I'm doing it like automatically. And at this point, yeah, I am, but you need a certain level of, you need a repertoire of like, you need vocabulary. So you're not going to get it from reeling licks. And I like what you said before about, still going back to transcribing. So, like there's still guys out there. Like, I'm at the point right now, my playing, where I'm just like, guys like Eric Steckel, for example. Great. Never met the guy, but Jesus Christ. Like, there's a guy we've met him. We've met him. Really?
That first NAMM, he was with us when we went out partying that night. It was like you, me, him, Hadris. Shit,
we were in
what's
that
his
house.
Name? No, that was it. We went out to like the bars or something. And were you with that night? Maybe you weren't with. I thought you were though. And it was what's his name from Spain? There's a guy from Spain
Tony Martinez.
Yes, he was there too. And Eric was there and he introduced himself to me and I was like, oh, I'm not, he kind of said who he was and said what he did. He's a blues player. And I was like, oh, cool. So I added him on Instagram and he probably had like 7,000 followers at the time. And then I just always remembered like, that guy's blowing up. Like, I went to a bar. We went to like a strip club or something. Like, we all went to, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. It was something like that. And it was like a bunch of people I wouldn't even remember them if I saw them. But I remember,
bro. We went ham that night, bro.
Yeah, that we did go back. Oh, I bet you, I don't know if Jack was there. I don't remember.
Jack was there.
But it was so long ago. It was like 8 years ago or something.
Jack was there. Fucking
Hadris was definitely there.
You and I were there. Hadris was there. We had so much fun with him. Fucking everybody was there.
Eric was there. Steckel was there.
He was there.
Yeah, dude, he was there. And I don't think he would remember me at all. But for some reason, I just added him, and I was like, wow, this guy's a killer. And then this was kind of like, this was when people just started doing Instagram. So it probably like, what, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. Right.
Yeah.
And he had like, he only had like a couple thousand followers, but I was like, this guy can rip. And I was like, oh, he's touring Europe all the time. Oh my God. He like has a massive setup when he tours. And then all of a sudden people started realizing that he's just a ripper, and he just like play like insanely. And he's been playing that way since he was like 10 or something. The old videos I've seen of him, I was like, what? This guy is insane. Awesome. But yeah, funny. He was there one of those nights. That's funny. You brought him up and I was like, I've never met him before. I was like, yeah, you have.
I fell in love with a stripper.
Did you? No. Was it me? That was me, actually.
She was really hairy.
Really hairy. My height. Yeah. Kind of Minnesota accent.
Surprisingly tall, bro. You're way taller than I thought you'd be.
You're like, we're almost the same height. You're a little bit taller than me, I think. Same height.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm 6'2".
Like, yeah, okay, I'm 6'2". But still.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. So, I was not surprised when I met you the first time. I was like, oh yeah, that checks out.
I mean, I look the part, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, especially at that time, like I'm like 205 now. And at that time I was like 180, 185 maybe at that time. So always like scrawny. Yeah. I can't tell right now if it's added muscle or a beer. I don't know. It doesn't seem like my belly's bigger. So I'm assuming it's muscle.
Yeah, it's muscle for sure. And it's going to be like, if you're doing are you doing legs? Are you hitting legs?
I have a lot. Yeah, I have a lot in the past. I've been lax on the legs. My whole game recently has been just sweat in the morning and then get to work. So like I sweat for like 20 minutes and then I get to work. But the main thing is sweat because I have naturally high blood pressure. So I have to keep it in check. So my whole thing has been like sweat for 20 to 30 minutes in the morning and then get right to work. So, but I have been thinking that lately. I've been like, I need to really start doing actual legs more because I just do really sweaty things.
Yeah. I mean, whatever gets you again. Like, I just like being around people who are like cognitively, I don't know what's the word. Like, you're just about the mind. You're cognitively aware and emotionally aware. That's I think that's the biggest thing for me. I mean, I know I come off as a dick to some people sometimes. It's not even that. I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just I have very, very, very strict values because I know that like you said in the morning, right? Like when you get up like that, and that's the first thing you do, you realize how much your time is worth. And when the hardest part of the day is over, i.e. you worked out, and you did your little practice routine or whatever, and you did your content. And now it's like, now you're kind of coasting out into your day, kind of doing the things that you got to do. You realize how much your time is worth. And I don't have fucking time for bullshit. I mean, when you can, like, again, it's not like, I don't have time for bullshit. It's more like, no, seriously. I don't have 5 seconds for this shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that shit is like, that's worth hundreds of dollars to me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like at this point. So it's like you start to think different. Your mind starts to kind of go like, I think it might be the money, but like, not like, dude, I'm not rolling in it. But watching it come in and watching it go out and seeing where I'm placing it and seeing where it's growing and just being responsible and just really starting to come to understand the language of money. People don't talk like that. Like they think that it's like, no, money's the root of all evil. And it's like, dude, money is time, bro. You need time. Like you need your fucking time back. And if you're not going to invest it in the right things, you're going to spend your time being a fucking pussy. I'm just gonna say it. You're gonna spend it being a fucking puss.
Dude. I didn't expect that, actually. I did not expect you to.
No, because you know what? I'm not saying that for even like click value. I'm serious. Like you're gonna start playing video games. You're gonna feel bad about it. You're gonna take that shit out on your friends. You're going to go drink more and and smoke more narcotics and all this kind of stuff, which again, we all do that shit from time to time and we like to party. But for me, it's like I get pissed at myself the next day when I'm hungover because I know I just lost 2 fucking hours sleeping when I could have been up. And that's what really fucks with me. So it's like even 5 seconds, it's like, just like, don't bother me with this shit. Just get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
This is exactly, man. Like this was my frustration with the snow today. 10 inches. It was like, I don't have time for this shit. Like,
where are you again? You're in
Minneapolis. Minneapolis. Yeah. I was like, I literally was like, fuck, I don't have time for this shit. And then I open up, I go into my, dude, this is a whole story that doesn't even need to be on here, but essentially crap got in my gas tank of my snowblower, got to get it out. Now I have to siphon out. I have to put in liquid to siphon it out because there's chunks and I can't go through the motor. And then the spark plug's fucked. And I'm like, I already don't have time for this shit. And now this goddamn snowblower that's supposed to save me time is not fucking working. I was getting so mad.
I know what you're saying because you got a fucking business to run. You're literally like, and we're just working out the kinks right now. Like there's no one, there is nobody, bro. There is no one in like, I don't know, like the biggest bands back in the day, right? That play guitar, went out there and killed it. That can tell us shit about how to operate right now in 2022.
Oh, it's just so different, man.
It's so different. So we can't go to them and be like, oh, what should we be doing? They're just going to tell us, well, you got to do this shit. And then I'm going to be like, oh man, I can make that in 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to go do that. I don't want to fucking pack all my shit up, all this kind of stuff. I would rather do a free show than to do it for any kind of money because you're actually losing these days. Like you're losing.
Unless you're in a massive group.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
the massive
thing.
Groups that are doing well. And
big man, dude, fuck that, bro.
No, it just, I play weddings in town because they pay awesome and it's easy and it's with top musicians in town. So I do that stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to try to go on because people are like, I've had people ask like, when are you going on tour? And I was like, not anytime soon. Like, unless I get a good offer, like I have so many things going outside of trying to being in a touring band that it would take it'd have to be a very good offer to go out. Like it'd have to be, near what Charlie got offered. It'd have to be like a big band being like, come and tour with us. I'd be like, oh, but like if someone was like, I want you to be in this band, you're going to tour, 100 days a year, 150 days a year. And it's going to be, 30 grand for you. I'd be like, that's half my year for 30 grand. Like, that's pushing it.
Right.
Whereas, with those bigger ones, but yeah, man, I just like sidetracked in my brain here what the hell I was going to mention about that. But
it's all good.
Yeah, dude.
Our minds are back at the strip club, folks. So
what'd you say?
Our minds are back at Fritz. That's it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, it's, I'm constantly having, one thing I always have is this constant kind of like guilt that keeps me going. This constant guilt of like, should be doing that. And you're like, oh, fuck, I gotta go do that. I do make time now. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about the wedding gigs thing. So I do that because it pays very well. So there's no like work on my end. It's like, the songs are so easy. I have an iPad full of charts if I need to. Great supplementary money. And it makes me, what it does for me is it actually takes away that desire to go out on a Saturday night. Instead of going out on a Saturday night, which I like to do, I go and I play a gig and I get paid $300, $400, $500, $600. And now it's like, I get to go out, hang with all my musician buddies in town, play easy ass tunes. They throw solos left and right. So it's really fun. And it's, you're done at 11 and it's high paying. So it's like, this is great. Like I'll do this all the time. I do it all the time in the summer. It's great. And stuff like that. I'm like, but it took me a long time to want to do things like that. Cause I was like, I don't want to do that gig. Like I've heard about that gig. Like that gig is like very demanding and it pays like $200 a gig. Like, no,
Shit
And
like
then
that.
when this wedding gig showed up, they were like, yeah, man, it's super chill, super relaxed. Like you're going to crush on it. And I was like, well, how much does it pay? They're like, in town will be like 300 to 400. Out of town will be like 500 to 600. And out of town is like an hour or two away. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Hell yeah. Like,
Right.
fuck yeah.
Right.
And then got the set list and it was like super easy. So that brings me to a couple questions though, because I wanted to talk to you about,
I got
so you,
time, man. Let's do it.
yeah, dude. So, because this brings us into like this topic of multiple streams of income. And I skipped one thing I want to talk to you about. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit later. Maybe we can talk about it right now. And that was, you did go to Berkeley for a little bit, and you said you played ball though. Did you play ball first and then go to Berkeley?
Yeah. So yeah, I went to Penn State. That was always the dream to.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell
I mean,
yeah! I didn't know that.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Did you play ball there?
Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah.
didn't know that about you.
I didn't play very much, but
That's
I walked
awesome.
out. Yeah, man. I worked my ass off for that, man. That was a very something that type of just not just the training, but just psychologically what you got to do to show these guys that you want to be there. Because everybody goes to the tryouts, and this kind of alludes to what we were talking about before about work, right? And about work ethic and all that.
Yeah.
It's not just work ethic. It's about like knowing what you're working for and being able to quantify it, over time. Because again, I'll meet up with somebody and they'll be like, oh man, I'm so tired. I've been studying for finals. I'm like, dude, I just ran like 2 miles of sprints, bro. And I got to go to class. Fuck off, man. So people, people don't know what their bodies can do, what their minds can do. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, yeah, that was always the dream. It didn't work out in the end. I actually couldn't hack it with the grades. I couldn't hack it with that. I couldn't hack it with like where my heart was at the time, especially with music. So it was really cool to have that one last like conversation with the my running back coach at the time, and just him being like, dude, you need to be doing this. We saw you play over here. We know what you're doing every Sunday. You're playing, like you're doing your thing, and we need people here who love this team, and I was like, all right, you got me. See you later.
Oh,
like,
damn.
And then I just went and applied at Berkeley, got a scholarship, and then the rest is history, bro. So,
nice. So how many years did you at Berkeley? Because did you end up
I only went
moving
for
off?
three semesters. Okay. 3 semesters.
Did the JTC thing play in like not continuing? Okay, that's what I thought.
Huge. Yeah.
Nice.
That got me out. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, yeah, I want to kick myself at the beginning when that started. And we both taught for Infinite Guitar. And you had the JTC thing.
Bro, that's where I found, bro, you were a monster on Infinite Guitar. Bro, I was a customer, bro. So I followed you, Tom.
Oh, were you? I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. So when I saw you were doing JTC, I was like, oh shit, I should do that. And I just never did. I just never hit him up. I just always felt very intimidated because I was like, well, that's fucking, that's Guthrie's on there. Like I don't know if I can hang,
What? Dude.
And I hit them up. Yeah, well, I've hit them up before and they were like, yeah, we have someone doing that. And I was like, nah, shit.
Their whole thing is about like, and I'll plug them a little bit because I'm not really doing that very much anymore because I'm doing my academy and shit. And
yeah, I figured that
on me right now, but I did 10 years with them, man, and they're really about the artist thing. They're really about like
it's like a label kind of, right?
Yeah, and they won't fucking admit it.
Okay. Looking at it.
But that's what and I think that's what they should fucking be doing because
that's what I was. It was because, like a teacher label kind of.
Yeah. Like you can teach, it's like what we would have to do, like I would have to develop a place where they can get my criteria, right? 2, a place where they can get it for free, where they can actually get a massive value. And a lot of the stuff, especially your stuff, really inspired me recently was again, I looked up and I was like, holy fuck, Mike is at 70, dude. I'm at 40. Fuck this, bro. I'm fucking shit, bro. I was like, dude, I got my shit together watching your stuff. No, I'm not even kidding. I was so pissed. I was like, what the fuck? And then so there was that. And then but yeah, so when you have places like that where you can actually give massive value and keep it simple, keep it simple, stupid, right? It's like, yeah, and I'm still on that grind where I have to learn to do that. From watching your stuff, watching some other guys' stuff or whatever. But when we can do that and provide that value, and I can also give my customers, my clients, the care that they need, in a whether it be automated, whether it be hands-on, one-on-one, or whatever, then I mean I can fund my own shit, dude. Like I can, I've got a ton more equipment in here. I've got stuff where, I'm trying to set myself up where I can just do the artist thing, but make sure at the same time that my clients are having the experience that they deserve, And so, yeah, I think that if you're an educational site, that you better make sure because
yeah, man,
we can do that now.
Yeah, I think I had brought up Lewis Howes earlier, and I think we got onto a different topic after that. And so I learned from him and from his guest. I don't know if it was from him or from a guest. And this actually changed my whole perspective on what I was doing, because I have a local business in town here that I have a couple guys who work for me. We teach in-home lessons, and it's just kind of there. Like, I have some students from there. There's probably like $500-600 coming in that I get to enjoy that I didn't, that's a residual, or not a residual, but like passive. So it's not like it's doing this amazing thing. But there's something that's coming through it. Anyway, so for a long time, I was focusing heavily on that. And I'm coming around to what you're talking about here. And I was focusing heavily on that. And I listened to all these podcasts, and, anyway, so that's kind of what got me into those podcasts. Anyway, one of the things that he talks about all the time is like, you want to build trust. You want to build a trust with your audience. If you want to build trust, you need to give them stuff, and you need to give it willingly and genuinely, and in a way that helps them more than they could ever imagine. So when you give for free and it helps them in a big way, and you continuously do it over and over and over again, and you do it in a genuine way, meaning you're just like, I know all this stuff. Like, I would love to share it with you. Like, here you go. Here it is. That builds trust. And then they want to take lessons from you, or in our case, or they want to buy from you in a brand's case. Like, that trust you build by just giving them stuff willingly for free just allows people to go, oh my God, like this guy's, they feel this like obligation. They're like, this guy's awesome. Like, he's just like, this is amazing. This is what I've been looking for. Like, he just taught this thing that I never knew about, or this thing that's been a struggle for me for a long time. I need to study with this guy, or at the least, I'm going to go buy something from his website, or I'm going to go check out his music or whatever. You build that trust, and it allows people to come in and actually want to take from you. You don't build trust by being like, look how good I can play. They're like, oh, I don't really know that guy. Like, that's really good, but like, oh, it seems intimidating, and I need to find. I don't really know. You know what I mean? It's like a right. There's like this barrier there that doesn't let you into the actual person. Once they see you teach, and sorry, go ahead.
No. I didn't. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
no, you're good.
Right there, I want to make sure we touch on that, because that right there is where like these there's us, and then there's the other guys, right? And if the other guys want a future, I'm telling you right now, understand what he just said right there. Trust is everything, right? Study for me. Oh, I'm going to poach this guy off of this person. Dude, you don't get it. You know how hard it is to show trust with people? Like, people think that I'm like out here like trying to make a quick buck. Fuck you. Okay? You do this work, and then you tell me what I'm doing it for, And that's the thing. When you get the trust of people, that is called accountability. And that's something that in the music world, right? In the label world, right? Where we'll suck your dick, and then you get on all fours once a month, and then you suck 20 of ours, right? It's like, You don't need that. What you need to do is get your ass up and create something of value for people from the heart, for real. Okay? Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, you came from the heart. That's just woo-woo shit. No. You don't understand. Okay? When you create something and you put 6 years into it like I did, okay? And then now you got to go out there and now you're running into all these obstacles and you're realizing in real time that these people are like, fuck you, you and your bullshit. Oh, you're just trying to sell us on some dumb shit. Then you'll see. Then you'll be like, and then if you can humble yourself, and they say intelligence is the ability to adapt, is the ability to change your mindset, the ability to change your perspective, right? If you can be intelligent enough to figure out a way to give value, like you said, to give value for real, like you're doing, people don't understand how hard that is to like come up with a topic, sit there and talk about it, make sure that it's relatable. You know what I'm saying? And you're off to the races. And then it's like, okay, now what am I sending them to? Which we'll talk about in private, by the way, because I got some shit to show you, bro. Yeah. Mine, dude. And you deserve it, by the way.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
it. It's like the way they do business is like, oh, snake this guy, snake that. Bro, since the dawn of time, the people that have been at the very top don't do that shit. They don't do it to their customers and they don't do it to their colleagues. If you want to play at the highest level, don't fuck with any of that negative shit. So it starts right there. Value. So if I'm giving it away for free, I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you. I'm taking time out of my day. You better believe I have a sales pitch at the end of this motherfucker. Okay?
Yeah, dude, I agree.
But at the same time, it's like, but I met with you for free, dude. I'm giving you real shit. I've heard horror stories of guys, and they know who they are. And by the way, I don't give a fuck. Walking away from, like, in the middle of a session, I've had students tell me this shit, and this is where I'm telling you, you're fucking up. Okay, not you, but these guys.
No, I'm anticipating what you're about to say. That's why I'm making that face.
Like, walking away from this computer, while a kid practices on some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, don't like this. These are the guys that don't care, and this is why they're going to suffer. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you've done that before, Mike, don't ever do it again. Just
no, I'm not. That's not it. No. I mean, I think when my priorities weren't straight and when I was not happy with what the path of where things were going, there's definitely times where like I'd be like when COVID was happening, there were kids where I was like, this kid doesn't care at all.
Okay, that's different. When you got a kid that sucks, don't like, that's not what I'm talking about. But it's like,
oh, I've never done it with someone who's very excited, like who's like a good student. Never, ever, unless I really got to pee.
No, dude. We're not talking about that. We're talking about.
I know. I'm just being stupid.
But we're talking about like motherfuckers that like. Anyway, hold on. Let it reset. Okay.
Yeah,
it's a call to arms for people to like respect your clients, bro. Like, even if you are an artist, you got all these artists out here self-deprecating. Oh, my fans, what do they have these terms called the punishers or whatever? Dude, you call them the punishers because you're punishing yourself. You don't have a system, a funnel where when you walk through the NAM place that you get something in return for the attention that you're getting. Other than the dopamine spike, which is no longer a dopamine spike after a certain amount of time of them, going, oh man, I love you. Wow. Singing your praises and stuff like that. But then send them somewhere. Send them to go buy some shit. Like this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what like the guitar community.
They're not good salesmen and they're not good at marketing or sales. They're not good business people. And one thing I've, when I went to school originally, my parents were like, you should do a music business minor. Do a business minor. Make sure you do a business minor. Just make sure you do a business minor. My mom was very adamant about it. And I was like, all right. So I did a music business minor. And, I was so focused on guitar, but it always stuck with me of like, business minded is the way to be. So I need to be thinking about this. And the hard part with the whole thing, and it took me many years to realize this, is like, there's a cool kids club with musicians and with guitar players especially. And
come out and party with us, bro. Come out and party with me. I'll show you I'll show you who the kids are in LA, bro. You don't even fucking know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And the cool, you know what I mean? And the cool kids don't push stuff on other people. They don't say, now they'll say, go to my show. They'll say, go to my show. But that's because the show happens once and they can promote the next show. But if it's an album, some people are very good at this, but some people are just like, they promote it one time and then they promote it again in 2 weeks. And then they promote it again, maybe randomly. And then they wonder why people aren't listening to their music. There was a rapper, and I can't think of his name. I can see him in my head, but I can't think of his name. And he was like, there's all these people out here, like they're out here not pushing their new material. They're out here not pushing their new album. I push it every day. He's like, I'm online every day pushing my new album. Like you bet your ass I'm out here going to tell you to go listen to my new album. Like I just worked my ass off on it. Dude, I push Fretboard Biology every other day. Every other day I'm saying,
love that name, 50%
off. Oh yeah, dude. It's the head of MI made the program. He's like a mentor, kind of a mentor, but like a buddy. Joe Elliott, he ran MI for years. He's a genius educator. Like he's one of the top guitar educators on the planet. Like he designed college programs. Like the dude's and he's a workhorse, man. The guy works and he's like 62 or something. And that
I would love to speak with him.
Dude, I'm gonna have him on sometime, and he dude, that motherfucker works like a lot, and he's not afraid to work from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed. He's a huge influence on the way that I kind of construct how I teach and actually how I just do everything. So anyway, point being is like, I believed in his product. I started pushing it just because I was like, you guys got to sign up for this. He's a buddy. It's amazing. It's a college program. And now I'm doing my spiel. Like it's a college program. It literally is the college program that we taught at McNally Smith and what they taught at MI. That's what it is. It's just in online form. I push it every other day, and it's like, and sometimes every day, because it's like, yeah, you guys, like, use my discount. You're gonna sign up for an amazing program. It's gonna be great. Use my discount. Like, I'm helping you here. And some people are like, oh, he just wants you to sign up for this thing. It's like, yeah, I do. I want you to sign up because if you need it in your life and it's going to help you, great. If you don't need it, then whatever, go away. Like, I don't care.
But you know what? That's like, another thing. Go ahead.
And sorry. And all last thing I'll say is like, I see it as like, I changed my mindset to like, I'm marketing something to like, I'm helping you by giving you a discount on something that you might want to get. And if you want it, take my discount. Use my discount, because that helps you and it helps me. You get 50% off. I get a kickback from every person who signs up with my discount. So it's like win-win.
Win-win. And everyone wins. The customer
everyone
number
wins.
one. Yeah, exactly. The customer number one. And that, like, they say, a real business is money in, and people are afraid to talk about money because we've been sold on this, like, vibe from the past generation. I'll just tell it like it is, that money is evil. Money is the root of all. First of all, the love of money is the root of all evil. That's really what the good word says. Motherfuckers. Number two, money itself is a value exchange. And again, like I said, one of the first things that they teach in economics when I was studying at Penn State, and I took it very seriously, is that money equals time. And again, it's like, dude, I'm going to give you my time, right? But I also don't want to starve and get my ass eaten by wolves. Okay. So I need a house. I need certain things. I need to survive. And I want to survive very well. And I want to eventually teach that to you and keep this ball rolling. But that's not how people think.
A good thing you added there at the end.
Yes. They think in scarcity mindset. and they're okay with their little Tesla and their little fucking McLaren or whatever the fuck it is, and they're feeling good about it. And look, that's great. That's because you gave value. So remember that you did that shit. Remember that shit. Okay, and continue to service your clients the best of your possible ability, because they want to get to know you. Like you said, it goes all the way back to trust, right? Now, you may not have to do it now, but let a motherfucker come up with some shit that you haven't come up with, and then all of a sudden, you're chasing your ass now, right? So it's like, for me, I want to do things the right way. And that's why I took my sweet time with this thing. And that's why I love hearing stories like what you just talked about in regards to your affiliation with this with MI and this other school, because like when you have somebody like that, they say that you can't trade. You are the quality of your business. So when you talk about this guy, that's a master teacher, and he's so good at connecting with people. He's so good at making ideas concise and understandable for people and inspirational to people. I think that's what we need to do. That's it, right? Stop hiring fucking, homeboy number 1 or 2 that fucking sells out, fucking rooms all the time. That's not always the best teacher, nor is it good for your your business, the trust there, your reputation, all that stuff. It's not everything, So what you really want is these guys. These guys are going to fucking break their backs to make sure that people fill up that room, and at a premium price too. They'll do it. They won't do it like $70 or whatever. They'll do it. We're going to talk about this, but they're going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of comes around to a lot of stuff. Like you want to be successful. And the whole point of this podcast is like building a career in music, how to build, the creating a life in music actually came from my class I took when I went to McNally Smith. I took the name, but the class is no longer taught. And it was made up in the first place, as far as like not made up, but it was just an interesting class. And I always thought it was great because you sat there and we had conversations like this. And dude, the whole point about creating a life in music, like I liked that sound when they talked about it, because it's like, it's not how to become a musician or how to be a guitar player for a living. It's like creating a life in music. Like you create this pathway of everything encompassing music becomes kind of what you're doing for a career and what you're doing in your life. Because for me, I mean, I have a hard time with hobbies. I don't have any hobbies, man. Like I have a hard time. I know, right? I've been trying to make them. Right, exactly. So that's a good point, because right now this brings me to another topic that is very important, I think, for people to realize. And that is thinking about the long game, which we'll get to, I think is very important. But the hobby thing, yeah, funny. Like I'm glad you said that, because I've had a hard time recently with the hobby thing of like, maybe I should get a hobby. And like, I've been thinking, I live right by a lake. So for me, my hobbies are these things. It's music. And then my hobby is hanging out with my girlfriend, having that time together, or like my dogs. That sounds weird, but like I'll take them on walks or something. Like I see those as hobbies: walking by the lake with my dog, hopping on the kayak with my girlfriend on a nice day. Those are my hobbies. Hanging out with a friend I haven't seen in a while. I don't see as like this.
That's so powerful, man. That's so powerful, because like, people look at me sometimes, and again, like I mean, again, I hate to make this about me, but I want to make it a point, right?
Well, it is about you.
Like,
Because you're the guest.
You're not going to get to know me unless I know that you've got some fucking core values, Like, I know that I talk a lot of shit. I know that I like going to strip clubs. I know that I like drinking.
We didn't do that. We never did that.
I did it. I tried to get him to do it. He never showed up.
Well, I was a stripper, so I guess we did do that. I was just working that night.
Yeah. Anyway, so So
Harry
no, it's like you're gonna get one side of me and that's it. But like that's the thing. It's like when I hear things like I like going on walks, I like hanging out with my girlfriend, I like doing this, dude. I like the same shit. I don't have dogs yet. You know, I love dogs so much.
They can be work.
But,
It's work when you have to go do something.
Well, I grew up with dogs, but that's why I don't have dogs right now.
Yeah.
So
I love them. I love them to death. But like every time there's a holiday, it's like, shit, do we pack up the dogs or do we get a dog sitter or whatever? You know,
we throw them in the garage and just like, I'll see you March. No, but like, yo,
freeze
like,
to death out here, man.
They'll be all right. No, I'm kidding. No, they require tons of care. And I love dogs.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I hear that, then I'm like, all right, come out to this club, you know, like that's it, you know, that's it for me. If it's like, oh, I want to get belligerent and fucking blah, 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 it's like, you're a liability. You're a liability, you know? And I'm sure a lot of people think that way, but that's the thing. Like you're only going to get one of those two things. So I really like hearing that, dude. And that is a hobby that can turn into something. Like for me, I love having people. I love hosting people. I love having people over my place. I love grilling. I love fucking, I don't give a fuck. I love footing the bill. I don't care, you know?
I do the same thing, man.
Yeah.
I actually have a bad habit. I noticed recently, I was like, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, I have a bad habit. Like I say, every time people say they're going to come over, I just load the fridge with booze.
Oh man, I do the same shit, bro.
And all of a sudden I'm like, coming out of the liquor store. I'm coming out of the liquor store. I'm like, $150. I was like, yeah, it's fine.
yeah. That's how we think, you know? And that's great, man. That's great.
It's for people because I like to, you know, I just feel like that's why I think I enjoy teaching and I enjoy the content creation so much because I'm like, I like knowing that I'm positively affecting people. Yeah. Which brings me to a question actually. And I know my answer to this. So I do want to get back to the long game thing at something because that's a whole other topic, but I don't want to go there now but I do want to ask this question. So speaking of, how do you deal with like comments and negative comments and just comments in general? Cause I know what I do. I leave the comment answering for my live streams. I rarely answer my comments. I answer all my messages. All my messages get answered. Every single one of them.
Interesting.
But my comments, I probably answer 20% and then I leave it for the live streams. And then when people come in the live streams, I answer every question in the live stream. And I do one a week for the live streams because I have a short fuse. So, which internally I hold it in pretty well. I hold it in pretty well. Like that's what people would hear. They'd be like, he doesn't have a short fuse. It's fucking Mike. No, but I hold it in. Like I read something and I'm like, this fucking guy. And I just am like, and it sticks with me for like hours. So I have to ignore the comments. And I tell a lot of people in my story all the time. I'm always like, you have any comments? You have any questions? DM me or I'll do a live stream. I always say DM. I will answer every DM. I'm good about that. But anyway, yeah, what do you do?
Yeah. So number one, Mike, you know what? We live in a world today where they're just like, be the bigger man. Yo, fuck that. I am the bigger man. Step to me, bro. I don't give a fuck. Yo, step to me right the fuck now. I bet you won't. That's why you're talking that shit over those fucking comments. That's why you're acting fucking passive aggressive. That's why you're doing all this shit, right? Because you're using the way that society is being molded for someone else's monetary gain, by the way. Okay. So you're buying Jordans and you're buying fucking Balenciagas and you're buying red bottoms for your stupid ass girlfriend you don't even fucking like. And then you're fucking, you know what I'm saying? And then you're going out to the club and you're spending all this stupid ass money, not getting any pussy. And then you're fucking like, you're doing all this shit that pisses you off. Right. And you're not being honest with yourself and you're not looking at yourself in the fucking mirror. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
then you're taking it out on me because you're like, oh, well, he's a big punching bag. He can take it. Yeah, I just took it. Now take it back. You feel me? Nah, man. Fuck this shit. Like when has it been cool? Now, don't get me wrong, bro. If I'm hanging out around a bunch of like mob bosses or whatever the fuck it is, a bunch of dangerous people, I'm not going to fucking pop off and act a fool. You know what I'm saying? But if it's some little skinny little fucking neck, little fucking chicken talking some fucking bullshit, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get it back, bro. And you're going to fucking cry. You're going to cry. That's what you're going to do. You're going to get all teary eyed in your fucking eyes and shit. And I'm going to show you the error of your ways. You got to fucking be able to read a room and understand that the value that we're giving right here, right now, right, is nothing but that. It's value. It's value.
It's free. For fuck's sake. It's free.
It's free. Yes. And it's free for fuck's sake. And then you're going to come over here. And I had this one guy go, oh my God, I was selling like 3 courses for like pennies, bro. Like $27, bro. And this motherfucker is like going through my website, looking for typos in the copy, sending me video. What he was trying to do was break rapport. What he was trying to do was, see, a lot of these guys want to sign up because they want to be friends with me. They don't want to learn. They want to be friends, right? They want to be cool. So they sign up for all these fucking courses. So it might be mine or like Wes Watson's or like, Brad. Y'all check him out, man. He's cool. But it might be these guys. So they see me doing kind of the same thing or whatever, and it's getting guitar. So they're looking at their life and like, okay, this guy's going to help me with my finances. This guy's going to help me with my taxes. This guy's going to help me with guitar. I always wanted to play guitar. This guy's going to help me with drums. I always want to play drums. This guy's going to help me with kazoo. It's like, dude, like these guys spend all this money. And then like when they see certain shit and you don't respond to them in the way that they would like, because I was like, all I said to him was this. I was like, dude, me and the team are working on it. Chill. As in, like, it wasn't what you said that offended me. I really loved the videos because I got to go fix my typos. Thank you. I appreciate it. Right? But it's the 16 videos you sent me. Like, I can't let you.
Yeah, dude.
I can't let you think
down.
Yeah, calm the fuck down, right? Like what you do is you say, hey, man, I notice a lot of different things. I love what you're doing. I appreciate that. Looks like you put a lot of work into this. Looks like you're kind of mostly a one-man team when it comes to this side of things. Maybe I can help. Dude, I would have paid this guy. I would have paid you.
Right.
I would have paid you. I would have paid you fucking $1,200 to just go through all my shit and tell me what's wrong with it so I can fix that shit. I would have paid you.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, go ahead.
No, I've had that happen with people who are like, people who I consider like friends or not colleagues, but like in the same realm. When I released a sample of a single of my album, my solo album, like I got a message from someone who I considered a friend who was like, hey man, I could really help you out with the production and the mix of that track. And I was like, the fuck's wrong with it?
People, can I say this real quick? People, there's a such thing called tact and professionalism, or whatever the word is, professionality. Just think about professional, okay? Be a fucking professional, okay? You're sitting at home and you're watching people do their thing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know how you're spending your time, because you know what? I used to be a piece of shit too. Okay? No. Seriously, I know what it's like to be be acting like a pussy ass piece of shit, and I can fucking tell. I can tell. I can see you. All that shit. So when you want to act like, oh, Al getting mad, yo, first of all, I'll stay mad. Number one, and number two. Bro, there's a way to show someone that you actually care. Again, this goes back to what we said in the beginning. Time, right? All they have is a negative ass comment for you. But what else do you have? Do you have any insight? Or are you just going to tell me what I'm doing wrong? So when somebody comes and says, I had a guy, again, he knows who he is. I'm not going to say his name, but it's like, this is what you don't do. My album comes out, right? And it's a fucking dope ass album, man. I put a lot of fucking work into this shit. I've had many guys in the industry come and say, bro, oh man, holy shit. And then like this one dude who thinks he's like the voice of everyone. One guy talking about he wrote up a synopsis of each song, bro, on Instagram Messenger. To me, for each tune, from here to the floor, bro. And I was like, there's no way this is like one of those like terms of agreement things. Like, you don't expect me to read this shit. You just want me to trust you so that you can just start fucking with my life and start getting into my shit and start like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
When your question about the negative comments, you got to realize that these people are not necessarily trying to help you. And that doesn't mean that they're being malicious, but it also means that they're full of shit. And that's what it is, bro. Like, no, I mean, like, I'm not even saying I'm party. Like, dude, you put in so much work into this shit, right? If I wanted to really help you, I'd be like, Mike, dude, would love to work with you, man. Let's do a duo. Let's do one song together, bro. That would be tight. Let's work on this shit. I'll produce it. We'll get this shit together. You're probably going to say something like, yo, the way them fucking drums hit slams, bro. That's right. Right. And then I'll be like, dude, this is how I did it, bro. Da-da-da-da. Try this, do this, da-da-da-da. And that's how you do it. When you tell somebody, I can make that better. It's like, well, do I want to? It's you. It's you I don't want to work with. I do want to be better, but it's you that I don't want to fuck with. So, yeah, man, the way I handle the comments, sometimes I pop off on these motherfuckers, man. But I'm doing it less and less because I'm realizing, again, that it goes back to the beginning. It's not worth my time. It's not worth the money. I'm losing money talking to you.
Right. Dude, what you just said earlier is such a good approach that people who do this shit could take. Like, it's very offensive, like, to release a song or release a snippet of a song that you're like, I'm going to release this, and someone says, I can help you with that. It's like, did you not just see what I said? Like, this is coming out. Like, it's done on my end. You don't like the way it sounds. I did have a guy who I sent some stuff to who did this, and he was a buddy. And I still consider him a buddy. He's a great guitar player, and he's great. But then he sent me stuff back, and I was like, yeah, I don't like this. And I went with my own mix. It was like, yeah, dude, like, we're on different pages on like what you like and what I like. Like, I'm very picky. And there's things about like the mix of my album that I don't like. There's things that happen where I'm like, but
everybody has that.
It's called the process of learning and bettering yourself. Like, so I'll do better next time.
And your fans don't care. The fans that really fuck with your shit, they don't care about
what you
that.
What you said earlier, though, was like, the way they should approach that shit is be like, hey, man, this is great. I love what you like. You start by like buttering the person. This is how you should talk to me about this thing. No, but it's like, it's helpful for them.
What you're about to say real quick, just so you know. Okay. It's called a compliment sandwich. And I got that.
Okay. Yeah.
You should follow. It's a compliment sandwich. It's compliment.
Yeah. I know this. I know the strategy. I know this. Yeah. Yep. So it's a sales thing. And it's basically like, you go, this is great. What you're doing is so awesome. And then be like, dude, like what you said before, we should collab on a tune. Like, I would love to mix one of your tunes. Like, do you have any that you're working on that I would love to like do some stuff with it? Or like, I would love to like collab on a song. Like, you don't go, I can help you make what you have better. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm releasing that. Like, it's good. Like, be like, do you have any songs that you're working on that I can help collab with? Like, I would love to be. And then what you do is you build the trust. You know what you do? You say, yeah, man, I'll just fucking do it.
Okay. So for all you guys that are going to demonize us for talking about money and talking about business, what did you just say? Even with something like that, it comes back to trust.
Yeah. You do it for free. You don't go like, yeah. And then, my rates are this. You're like, yeah, fuck that, man. Like, I would have searched for someone in the first place. Like, I'm doing it on my own because I don't want to spend the money. But if you're going to like be a dude and like fucking help me with this, and like, you're like going, yeah, man, I'll help you. I'd be like, yeah, dude, like, let's do this in the future. Let's like make shit happen. Dude, like, and then in the future, it's like, yeah, down the road, dude, I'll put you on the royalties for the next album. Like I'll put you in my DistroKid, like as the second, as one of the
or I'll
payees.
introduce you to some people.
Yeah,
that you know damn well you need to know, motherfucker. Like you know what what do you like what do you like?
Because dude, like you know, I've done the mixing and the mastering thing for my album. Like it is it's a lot of work, but like a lot of it happens regardless. Like I'm going to record all that shit. I'm going to make all these parts. I'm not just going to leave it all fucking stereo, like mono. I'm going to go, this needs to be pan. This needs to be pan. This needs to be here. This needs to be this valve. I'm going to mix it half-assed before I send it to anyone anyway.
Right.
So like, and then they're going to mix it and master it. And I know there's work to that, but it's like I did everything else myself. That was so much fucking work. Like I'll just mix and master it myself. Like, unless I really have someone good, like I know, like I actually would love, Adam from Arch Echo. Adam Bentley, dude.
Oh, I mean, I went to Berkeley with him, but bro,
I would love him to mix some stuff for me, but I know he's a dude. Like he's a good, so I would pay him. He charges people, like, and I know he's good at what he does and he's got a reputation, and I would love him for to mix my stuff. But like, it's like, this brings me back to another question, you know, back to like the topic of creating a life of music, where it's like, that's not a priority in my life right now. I can't be investing that right now. And cause it's not that's not part of my goals. I want to keep creating music, but I don't see that as part of the long, that's not the right word. I want to keep creating music, but right now I'm trying to continue to build off my momentum that's coming from Instagram and lessons and stuff. And like, that's where my momentum is. And I gotta keep that momentum going. And that actually is a whole other topic of shiny object syndrome, of like grabbing the next shiny object because it's offered to you, even though you should be just, you know, run that train along.
You're overthinking it because you worked for that. Right. It wouldn't have been a shiny object unless you walk through the desert all those miles and miles and miles. And in this case, the mirage is real and you fucking deserve it. And there's a lot of guys that'll tell you because they're not willing to walk that. Right. And for me, like, dude, don't get me wrong, bro. I would love to be sitting on my ass making music. And that's what I mean by shiny object.
I mean more like seeing these shiny objects that seem really awesome. Like, oh, I really want to do this, but then trying to be like, no, this is the path. I need to continue down this path.
Yes.
And then that's what I meant. And then approach the shiny objects as they're more realistic, in conjunction with my path. So like, if that shiny object is very in tune and in conjunction with the path, then it's like, yes, then take it right in.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I guess that's what I meant. I meant more of like, I would love to create more music, and I've thought about creating more music, but this idea of like, but I really can't afford to like deter my energy towards that. I need to be, you know what I'm saying?
Let me say this. Okay. And I love being controversial because what the fuck are you going to do about it? So,
doesn't bother me.
Hey, we've already, I don't need to plink around on the guitar and create all this like weird, like new shit, right? The greats did what they did, and I was able, let that reset. Cool. Because I want people to get this. So
yeah, for sure.
We play like the greats. And that's what we went for. That's what we wanted. And that's what we are doing. And I think that just because someone does something new, we're having this syndrome where it's like, well, I could put more time into playing something. It's like, no. Listen to everyone who's doing something new, right? They've always got a term for some sort of vibrato or some fucking shit that they cannot do. They can't do it. Okay. So fuck that. But the style that we do is a bit on the old side. And that's the thing, though. Is it like old?
You and me? You and me?
I'm talking about you and me.
Oh yeah, I've always seen my style as like classic, like Petrucci, Ingve, Michael Romeo, like that. Those are the guys
All that shit
that's
that
how,
like
yeah.
people who are at the forefront can't fucking do. Okay. All right. You can't do it. And then there's people that like listen to all this shit that can't do it. Right. And that just is what it is. Not everybody can do everything. Right. But they get this complex as though like we're over here like, yeah, I can do this. And it's like, dude, no, I actually appreciate all music, but we're getting this kind of like dichotomy within the industry. So the thing with you and me and guys alike are that we are forced to come up with another way of generating our income, which is actually freeing us financially. And that's what you're talking about, right? So I hear you. 100%. I hear what you're saying. And that's a beautiful fucking thing. So now what you're saying is like, I'm learning a new skill. I'm learning a new life skill, by the way. Okay. How many companies are you going to be able to work for? How many companies are you going to be able to do copy for? How many companies are you going to be able to do content for, or break up content, or maybe outsource to somebody else? Or, you know, how many hands are you going to be able to shake? Right? Being who you are. You're already an accomplished shred guitarist. You can play like Ingve. You can play like Satran. You can play like Petrucci. You can do all this stuff. You can do it, right? I think what I've learned to embrace especially over the pandemic, is like, I didn't get any stimulus checks, by the way, motherfucker. I don't like work. I work for myself.
You didn't get any?
I didn't get any.
How does that happen? I got all mine.
I don't work. I don't work for anyone else. I can't stand the idea of making someone else rich. I can't do it. Not at the expense of me being able to do what I want to do. Like, I'd be willing to partner with somebody, but I hate the idea of like making someone else rich at my expense. I would rather eat ramen noodles every fucking day and set myself up for where I want to be. You know,
I think that's why I only have taught at the college and then now at an arts high school. Because the arts high school, it's like, it's this obligation for the kids to help them. and then the college, that was for profit, and they did a garbage job. That college went under because they had horrible management, and they didn't need to go under anyway. But that was also very fulfilling because of like, there's this culture there of all these kids, like these kids coming in and wanting to learn. It was great. But I feel you on the rest of it. Like those two jobs, I've never felt like the way that you're talking, but because I felt that way with everything else. Everything else, if I taught lessons for someone, I was like, fuck this guy. Like I'm teaching lessons for this guy who like doesn't even half-ass play guitar, and I'm teaching lessons for him.
Come on.
I'm like miles above him. And this sounded cocky, but like in some cases it was true. Not in every case, but there was cases where it was like, oh, this person owns a music school and they don't know anything about music, but they came into it because of some bullshit thing.
Right. So don't you see what's happening? Right. It's shit like that has ruined the spirit of shred guitar. And a lot of guys think that I'm like not about shred, like I'm not about the craft anymore because I've gone down this venture and I've gone the more entrepreneurial route. But like, you guys don't understand. I've stayed holed up in my room for fucking 2 years over the pandemic. 2 years. And my roommates will tell you, okay, not here, but where I was living before, they'll tell you, like, Al doesn't fuck around. I'll come down and I'll party. I'll be a little gnarly sometimes, but I'm getting up tomorrow morning and you're not going to see me, but you're going to hear me doing my shit. Like that's what people understand. Like, we're actually the ones advocating for shred, but you can't do it without money. You can't do it without like that monetary, like, backing. And for me to go out there and, you know, walk around with fucking chapped jeans with my ass hanging out, it's not advocating for shred. Fuck you. Okay. I'm not doing that shit. No, come on, man. I'm not fucking doing that. It's fucking 2023, just about, right?
Like, you're not trying to like be like, put on some weird show.
I'm dying for the art. Fuck you. Okay, figure it out. This shit is a $1.6 billion business teaching people how to do shit. What does it
changed, man? It's
I mean,
changed, and people have to realize that there's a shift they need to make. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no. It's a shift that needs to be made, and we need to stop acting like bleeding hearts. Nobody cares, bro. Come on, man. Nobody in the real world gives a fuck about you and this bleeding heart bullshit. Get your shit together. Grow some fucking balls. And honestly, go out there and serve people the right fucking way.
That's what it comes down to. Serving people.
You don't fucking interact with anybody. You're acting like a fucking prima donna. Dude, no one cares, man. Nobody cares about all that fucking shit, bro. Like nobody, like, come on, man. Like, let's get real here. Is this something that you're going to like tell your kids or your legacy? Like, oh man, it all just broke down because the world did this, bro. We're fucking pioneers, man. We make shit happen. Where the fuck did that? Right. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's smelling some other dog's ass. You know what I'm saying? Working for some other dude, fucking making him rich because he's seeing the fucking he's not seeing a path that he wants to go down and recreate. I totally understand that, and I respect that. And if you were on that first wave, good. It's first movers market. I get it, right? But yeah, I can in the room and we kicked ass at guitar and we kick ass at guitar. And all this quasi, R&B shit is making people feel happy right now. See what I'm saying? But when you're good at something, that doesn't just fucking go away. You know, this whole shred thing, too old school. Shut the fuck up. You got to create a market. And that's what we're doing. And this is the avenue that we're going. So it's just funny how people get all in their feelings and get all emotional and shit. And they get all like, insecure about stuff. And you hear them saying certain shit. And you're like, bro, did you see my followers just fucking like quadruple or like fucking triple in the last like 6 months? Bro, there is a market there. You're just not serving the real thing. You're not serving the art, motherfucker. Out here fucking playing and hoping girls think you're sexy. Shut up, dude. Fucking create something that works.
And create value is the main thing, I think. Like create a value. And then what it comes down to too is like, I've thought about this a lot and I have a question to ask you about the shred stuff. But I've thought about this a lot. Like TikTok went through the whole bottle. Oh, look at that. If I go through the whole bottle, I think I'll die.
Oh, hey. Oh, that's my favorite bourbon right there.
Dude, isn't it the best?
It's between Woodford and Basil Hayden's. Have you ever tried Basil Hayden's?
Basil Hayden's good. I've had Basil Hayden's. Woo! This is my go-to.
Yeah. This is the go-to. This is my go-to. I do like Buffalo Trace too. Buffalo Trace is dope. Dope. See, I come prepared. See.
Yeah, dude. My girlfriend's like, she's like, are you gonna be at 10? I was like, yeah, I'll be quiet.
But you know what? 10. This content is as long as it is, it needs to be this long. This is how you're gonna catapult your platform, man.
Yeah, dude.
10 podcast, nobody gives a fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, dude. No. So shit, you were just talking about something that I just mentioned, then we got off topic with the booze. I said I was gonna to mention something. Shit. Oh, yeah. What were you just talking about? You were just talking about.
You said I was going to mention the shred shit.
So the shred shit is one thing I was going to mention. The other thing was like, I think people need to realize that there's this TikTok, Instagram game of following trends and doing trends. There needs to be a means to an end because people go on there and they make funny videos and they make entertaining videos. But if you're not providing a tangible value, if you're just making something that's like, oh, that was funny, I laughed at it. Oh, that's funny, I was laughed at it. I'm going to follow this person.
I love where you're going with this.
You're actually not creating much of a value. You're creating entertainment, which is great, but there's nothing there that someone can buy from you. And this sounds really markety, but what you do is I've seen so many people, I've seen people with millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers be like, no one's buying my merch. No one's buying the thing I made. It's like, yeah, dude, because all your videos, you're not actually providing anything of value to the person. All you're providing is and next thing.
And that's
Like,
that's the thing that really sucks, that makes guys think that they have to be more competitive rather than collaborative, right? It's more alpha in the sense of the word, right? To be collaborative and actually be confident in who you are and know that the value that you have to offer is actually value. So for example, right? Take the people that have millions of followers because everybody thinks that they're a fucking clown, right? And then they go, well, we need a clown, right? And then here's another clown, right? And then it's like, well, nobody's buying my merch, right? And then it's like, yeah, right? Now take Joe Rogan, killing it, right? Take Full Send Podcast, killing it, right? Take any of the I'm not going to say his name because I'm not trying to get into that in this podcast. We're going to wait until the second or third podcast before I mention AT. But look at Brad Lee, look at Wes Watson, look at these guys, all different dudes, alpha as fuck, doing their thing and then given the value that people actually need. They don't have to compete with one another. They're on each other's podcasts. They're collaborating. So what's this whole like, oh, I got to lower my gas prices because this gas station over here. No, we got the premium gas, son. Don't worry about it, dog. Oh, I got somebody out there to pump your gas. Don't even trip. Like, what happened to that?
You don't need that shit, man. Like what you need, what you do is you provide a different value than the peers around you. And it's not a competition. People jive with certain people in certain ways. Some people might watch my videos and be like, cool. And then they'll watch yours and be like, yes, this is what I need. Or vice versa. Or they'll see Jack play and go, I need to learn from Jack, not these two a-holes. Like,
right. Right. That's totally fine. There's millions of people out there. I think that we've been preached to this whole scarcity mindset. Okay, cool. We've learned scarcity. Let's learn abundance for a bit here. Okay. Right. Let's actually look at the data here and see how much is out there is to offer. And I remember when I was, I was still with doing the educational stuff with a previous company. And I had 3,000 followers or something like that. And I was looking at Andy James. I was like, I can play like that. I was looking at this other guy. I can play like that. I can play like that. And it's like, what the fuck? These guys got 60,000 followers. What the hell? And it's like, all right, I don't give a shit. I'm going to post every day. Dude, I'm posting 3 times a day right now, man.
Yeah, I heard you say that on that.
Work. That's easy work,
that's part of that. Like, I can play like that guy, though. Like, Andy's 10 years older than us. Like, there's the long game, what I was talking about earlier. Like, these people have played the long game. Like, Andy was like,
segue. Let's do it.
Dude, Andy was like, Andy's a good dude. I first heard of Andy when in 2007, and I was working closely with this blues shred guy, actually from Iowa, who was on Shrapnel. Just some random guy who was just like in the middle of Iowa that no one in Iowa knew, but like everyone on Shrapnel and everyone in Europe knows this guy. His name's Craig Erickson. Yeah. He was from the 90s, but killer player. He was kind of a mentor. Anyway, so he taught me so much. He was like, yeah, my dude, 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And he was showing me these guys and I was like, oh, that guy shreds. It was fucking Andy James. And this was 16 years ago, before YouTube, before Black Star, before ESP, before anything. And he was like one of the guys on this site they were kind of recruiting to do this. It ended up just fucking falling flat and it didn't happen. But the funny thing is, like, dude, that dude played the long game, man. And now he plays for Five Finger Death Punch.
Love it. Dude,
at 43 or something, I don't know how. He's in his
young, spry as shit.
Dude, he played the long game. Andy started shredding like crazy, tried to do this stuff in his. So late 20s was 2007. Late 20s for him. And 16 years later, after doing a bunch of YouTube stuff, after working with ESP, after working with Blackstar, after working with JTC, then you do JTC, after doing AndyJamesGuitar.com or whatever his thing, after doing all this shit, becoming Andy fucking James, who's like, before Five Finger, a world-renowned guitar player. And then goes on tour with Charlie Engen, who's playing for Scale the Summit. Charlie Engen joins Five Finger Death Punch. The guitar player from fucking Zoltan. Zoltan goes, Charlie, Andy James is an amazing guitar player. Yeah, I know him. Well, I want him in the band. Yeah, easy. And now fucking, I'm not saying that's how it happened. I don't think that's how, I'm not sure how it happened. Zoltan might have easily just have known Andy already, but I just knew when that happened, it was like, Charlie had gone on tour, then was buds with him. So it's like, that's the long game, man. Fucking 16 and longer years, because that was his late 20s. So we can say 20 years. We could say 20 years long game for Andy James, now in one of the biggest bands on the planet. And whether you can make fun of Five Finger Death Punch all you want. And I've said this to people all the time. Yeah, make fun of the band. Doesn't matter. They make tens of millions a year. They make so much money. They're one of the top grossing bands on the fucking planet as far as rock and metal goes. Like they make so much, and it's great. Like great. And I'm happy to see, a friend.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
And to see Andy too. I'm happy to see a friend do it. And I'm super happy to see Andy join the band. When Andy joined that band, I was like, this is what this guy should have been doing for years. I'm not saying you should have been doing this. I meant like he deserved to be in a band that level for years.
A lot of people give up because they although it may be true, I deserve to be in this sort of band doing this and this and that. It's like, what's because of that they give up. They
can't wait. Really, they can't play the long game.
And play the long game. And I love how you segued into that. And I love that that's how you're talking about it. That is crazy, bro, that you brought that up. And that's really encouraging to me as well, because people are like, well, why aren't you trying to get into a band? Why are you trying to do this? Because it takes chemistry, dude. It takes I just don't like being around people I don't like. I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
Like, I don't like being people I don't fuck with just because I want a fucking gig.
Dude, and when it comes down to it, it's sad to say there's a paycheck involved. You could have my favorite band could approach me and offer me less than what I make a year, and I'd be like, I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know if I can do that. It would depend, and I'd have to really consider it. Like, say, I'm not going to indulge like how much I make or whatever, but like I have plans on how much I'm planning to make with all the plans I have. Like, this is where I can go if I do X, Y, and Z in the next 5 years. If I continue down this road, I can make this amount, set myself up for freedom. Because when it comes down to it, I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at people. When it comes down to it, like, you have to make a living. You have to survive until your death. And and I don't want to struggle. And that's what it comes down to. And I want to provide value in the process. I'm not just going to be like, give me money. I'm going to give you the best value I can possibly give if I'm charging you for something, regardless of that. Yeah, man, it's just this long game thing. It's hard. It's really hard because it's very easy to go 6 months in and be like, fuck, like maybe I should be considering something else. Like, I saw a guy I follow who's I follow a guy who's a great guitar player. I'm not going to say his name. Great guitar player. And about a year ago, he created a Patreon, right? Created a Patreon. Whatever your opinions on Patreon, whatever. I know some guys who make, I'm not saying to you, I'm saying to people there. Whatever your opinions, I know a lot of guys, some guys who make so much money off Patreon. But this guy did it for a year, and I went to look him up because I was like, I've been researching Patreon just to see, and he's not there anymore. And I was like, dude gave up. Like, he gave up like after a year. It's like, dude, you didn't play the long game. Like, you can't just, I mean, maybe it was too much work. Maybe something else came up. Maybe he got a gig or something. Was like, I can't continue because I have other obligations. But like, dude, Ben Eller, I looked at his stats. He's got 4,000 patrons. His lowest subscription is $1. If everyone paid $1, they take like 5%. He's making like 95 cents. That's like $4,000 from Patreon alone. Like,
yeah.
And that's if everyone did $1. That's if everyone did $1. Like, right. And he's got other levels. So, and like Bernth, you know Bernth, the guy from Austria that's got like a bunch of tattoos and like crazy hair, and like this guy Bernth, Bernth. You've probably seen him online. You just don't remember his name.
I know it's actually ringing a bell, but I'm gonna.
So he's Austrian, long hair. I think he's got dreads. He's super metal. He's got some piercings, some tats. He's got a shit ton of YouTube followers. His lowest Patreon is $5. He's got over 9,000 patrons.
Jesus,
you know what that is? That's like $40,000 a month, dude. It's like, I mean, let me double check that before his lowest is 5 times 9,000. That's $45,000 a month. And take away what the 5%. So what? It's 42,000. Like what? No. What the one thing I'm not sure about the patron thing, the one thing I'm not sure about is like, does that mean in the lifetime of the Patreon, there's been 9,000, or is that current?
That's 9,000. The lifetime. I mean, it's they're hoping, retention is a motherfucker, but I think at this point it doesn't really matter. He's just making so much.
Is it lifetime? Is it lifetime on there? Because it says this person has 9,000 patrons. Is that lifetime? They've had 9.
No, I think anything that's what are you asking? I'm sorry. Like, what do you mean?
Oh, so when you look at someone's page, it tells you how many patrons they have on Patreon. Does that mean so if it says 9,000, does that mean like they've had 9,000 individuals at some point, or does that mean currently there are 9,000 people subscribing?
There are. I really hope. Hope.
That's currently.
I'm about to fucking do some. I mean,
I know you're like, damn, because Ben has 4,000, like 4,100.
Yeah, it's like I need to. What we need to ask them, because we don't really know.
I want to have Ben on here because I kind of know him, and I would like to have him on this and ask him about it. Yeah, I've talked to him a few times online. I was supposed to send him some beer a long time ago, and I fucking forgot, and then I just never did it. Whatever. Because we were talking about beer one time, and I got to do it sometime. But yeah, dude. Okay, so there's so many questions around creating a life in music that I had meant to ask that I didn't ask, that would hopefully it would have some insight. So the one big one, I think the biggest one is that I think is helpful to everyone, and I think will help people realize the opportunities within music is what are your streams of income? Like what, you don't have to say how much, of course, like I know that's like kind of a private thing. So like, what are the things that you're doing? You're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And even the stuff that's you did in the past that is making you residuals. I would like to know about that. And I think it'd be helpful for people to hear about that, because I think that's super insightful for people to hear, like, oh, damn, this guy doesn't just do this thing. He also does this stuff that kind of pays him as well.
Damn.
If you don't want to talk about it, is that too much?
No. It's fine. I just feel like a little embarrassed because honestly, I've been perfecting the art of bringing people to where the point of sale is, and so it's literally.
It's okay if it's one thing, dude. It's okay too.
Yeah. So it's literally the academy. That's been it. Like for the past.
Are you still making money off JTC though?
And I still make money off. I have like 30 products with them. I better be making some fucking money.
And that's what I mean by residuals. Like anything that you've done in the past.
The thing with them is like they only pay out every 6 months. So.
Oh damn. By the way, do you have one of your albums exclusively from them?
Yeah.
Because there's an album I noticed on your website that's not there.
Yeah, that's it. Because that's with them. I mean, is
that All of Creation?
All of Creation is exclusively through.
It should have been Al of creation.
I know everyone says that.
I'm joking. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. When I said it, I was like, I bet he gets this.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. If I need to hear it from anybody, it's got to be from a homie. So it's all good. But like, yeah. So there's that. Those two. You know, I got like I got a pretty penny. Like
your Spotify stuff though. Are you're like anything you're getting like the album sales? I mean, it's small, but it's still something.
I probably do. I mean, Bandcamp. I get like a check every month. I get a lot of I get a lot of like Instagram reel money.
Yeah. Right.
That helps.
Right. Same. So that too. Do you do anything with YouTube?
I'm going to start. But the thing is, the thing with YouTube has been like, I need to make it more like music centric and more like covers and stuff that I really want to do. I've been really watching Cole Rowland as of late, just how he does his thing.
He's a worker. He's a worker too.
But I mean, the thing is with him is that it's so dialed in to what it is. Because like for me, it's been so bootstrapped. Like, hey, here's a service that I have to offer. This is why you should pick me. Pick me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a hard thing to do. That's a really hard thing to do. You got to offer a fuck ton of value in order to make that happen. But when it comes to like what's really dialed in as far as like me being a musician and really attracting people to like my brand, I think branding is one thing that I haven't been doing very much as far as Al Joseph is concerned. Okay. By the way, guys, my first name is not Joseph. My first name is Albert. Al is short for, I have to say this. Okay. And I just say it on every podcast from now on. Okay.
I've never thought that.
It's not like El Joseph or Al Joseph. It's not Spanish. It's short for Albert. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I said, I knew that.
Oh, about to say, dude, I paid you for a few lap dances, and you had to have known.
No, I said I knew that. I knew that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Anyway, Anyway.
Oh yeah. So you have.
We love getting awkward. We love getting awkward together. Don't even worry about it. Remember that time I showed up to you guys' hotel room super late, dude?
And you lost your voice? And then you drank all of Charlie's oil of oregano and gained it back?
I did. He healed me.
Charlie's like so into like essential oils and all this stuff. He was like, dude, take this. And you were like, and it, like, dude, a fucking oil of oregano down the fucking hatch is not easy. It's like, you did it. And you went from like, you're like, guys, and then like in a half hour, you're like, hey, yeah, I think I'm getting my voice back. And Charlie was like, oil of oregano, man. Fucking oregano. You popped out of the bushes that night. We were walking in Anaheim, and it was me and Charlie Engen. And out of the bushes comes Al. He's like, hey, guys, wait up. No voice. And you go, hey, wait up. And we were like, what the fuck? And you're like, yeah, I was hanging out with some chick and I lost my voice. And then you came back to our hotel and you slept on the floor.
Oh man, I love you guys for that. I fucking love you. I got friends that fucking stood me up. They wouldn't even answer their phone, dude. And I'm fucking like, I got the fucking hotel. These guys. Anyway, you guys.
So funny.
It
went out again. Okay. There you go.
You guys were so cool about that. Like, that's fucking dope, man.
That was so much, dude. We had a rough weekend. Me and Charlie. We drank the second day of NAMM. I had to go and buy Charlie like some elixir. He was like struggling. I remember I was struggling, but I was struggling less. And I was like, dude, we gotta go to NAMM. And just like went to this store and like grabbed a bunch of shit like orange juice and shit and was like, eat this banana, have this orange juice, take your oil of oregano, we're going to NAMM. I don't remember you guys, man. I don't remember if we made it or not. I don't remember if we went the second. We did skip out. No, what we did is we like showed up at like fucking 2. went all the way to LA to go to NAMM, and the second day we're like, like showed up at like 1:00, which is like, when you go on these trips like this, and then you fucking blow half the day, you're just like, fuck. Yeah.
It
happened to me and my girlfriend in Italy. We went to Italy, and we were so fucked up by the time difference. We stayed up to like 4 one night, and then she woke me up at like a 1:45 p.m. She woke me up. She's like, it's 2:00. And I was like, oh, fuck, we paid all this money to come to Italy. We got to get the fuck up. And like went up and did shit all day.
Oh, man, dude. This is a rock star lifestyle, people. This is a rock star lifestyle, dude. You know, sometimes you got to go to Italy. Sometimes you got to pop out of some bushes. The thing is, the story with that was, I'll tell that, like, we couldn't get a hotel room, bro. Right down the strip.
Oh, I don't remember it. Yeah, I don't remember how that happened. I just remember you being like, yeah, man, I need somewhere to stay. And I was like, yeah, come with us.
Things happened. And there was no hotel room, so I had to get her an Uber home. And I
remember you were gone the next day. And I texted you and like, yeah, man, got an Uber. You woke up at like 4:30, or you woke up, that wasn't that. You probably woke up at like 6 or something. And you're like, you're just gone. And I was like, oh, I guess Al left. He doesn't want any more oil of oregano.
I took the whole oregano. Yeah. Oh, man. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, dude, of course. So you got the Shred Fest Academy, a little bit from JTC still every 6 months. I mean, probably some sort of like kickback from like, you know, there's Spotify streams and stuff. You have four albums on Spotify, or 3?
I don't know. I need.
Well, I think you have 4. I think you have 4.
I have 3, and I have a single that's going to turn into.
And then Hive Mind is Hive Mind coming to you?
Hive Mind is another 3 albums that we have.
Yeah, so you have all these albums. Oh, it's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's a bummer. Well, which Hive Mind is awesome, dude. It's great. I don't know if you're going to continue to do that.
Singing again. I'm going to start singing again too, just so you guys know.
It was great, man. Yeah. Hive Mind is really good. I actually listened to it a bunch. So you have that. So focusing on teaching. So at the moment, not gigging a whole bunch, which is, I'm not, just kind of.
I know a lot of people are going to think I'm speaking sacrilege by saying this. What the fuck am I going to gig for? I'm helping people get better guitar. They're getting on the platform. I spent 6 years putting this shit together. They're getting an amazing experience every single time.
Well, it's not like you haven't gigged.
No, I will. And I'm actually joining a new band with a badass violinist from Tunisia.
Oh, I saw that
thing from Tunisia. Yasmin. She's a beast. She's really cool. She's a beautiful person. And
yeah, dude, I mean,
she's like the one person. And again, guys, not because she's a girl, okay? She's actually fucking awesome. We went and saw her play in Topanga a few weeks ago. Me and my girl, we went and saw her and play, and she is just a ball of fire, dude. So
yeah, man.
I'm excited to see what happens with that.
Yeah, dude. I think the point I was trying to make is like, I guess for people listening is like, you toured with Hive Mind. I've seen videos of you playing in church. You've obviously gigged, and you played at like NAMM, which NAMM could arguably be one of the most stressful places to play, because you're just playing in front of fucking all your peers who are like, how is he gonna do?
It's 25 people who know what you're doing at every single turn. Yeah, that's like,
yeah, dude. I've never played it
hungover.
Dude, I've never played at NAMM, and I've played all over town here with all like the top musicians. And I'm not trying to brag at all. I'm not, but like I've done a lot of shit in town, and played for huge crowds. And NAMM terrifies me to play at NAMM. It's at the same time. At the same time, it excites me. Like it's very exciting. It'd be a cool experience, and I've always thought it'd be a cool experience. But at the same time, I'm like terrified.
Yeah. It's not a natural place to play.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it really is.
But it's good. I think it's good for people to hear, like, I know plenty of musicians that had gigged at one point or don't gig and make their living in a bunch of other ways. Gigging there's a lot of people who do believe that gigging needs to be a part of it. And for me, I like to do it because I feel like it helps in practice. So, but I'm very picky about my gigs. I'm very picky.
Here's what I'm going to say about
I don't take any. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Like, here's what I'm going to say about gigging. And like, you're saying the right shit. It's just that if you're going to gig, stop fucking taking $50 gigs. You understand, there's this thing called inflation. And this is the thing that like people like, especially musicians and artists in general, don't respect. Okay, guys, money is everything. Money pays for every fucking thing. You want a fucking endorsement? Yeah, exactly. You want an endorsement? You want an album out? It costs money. Learn to respect money, okay? And stop taking fucking shit fucking gigs, okay? Call your premium and wait for somebody to call you at your premium. Have some fucking value in yourself. Like, stop taking $50 gigs and then getting mad at me when I don't have to. Like, yeah, dude, stop doing that. Like, you're the reason why it's getting fucked up. Okay, $50. You spent 12 hours a day playing guitar. You became amazing at what you do.
Now, I agree with what you say, depending on your point in your career and the level in your career.
I don't know, because you know what? I know what you're about to say, and you're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But you have to practice this sort of communication, because it's all about communication. It's all about value. If a little kid who is like, say, like Thomas McRocklin, for example.
Oh, yeah. Like, he was like a little kid once.
They're going to come to you and say, you can play with Steve Vai. What's that? You know? And then you're all excited. And then you're pissed off years later because people are people, right?
Well, he's doing well now. He's doing cool
he's
stuff.
Killing it now, and good for him. Good for him. But that's what I'm saying. It's like if some mentor,
there had to been a point in that time where he was like, what the fuck? Like, I had this thing lined up and now it's just gone.
I think, well, I talked with him personally about it, and I think it was more of his decision than anything. And I think, I think that he realized he was too good for this shit. And that's the thing. It's like, dude, look, man, I don't care who I'm playing with. Okay, guy. All right. Listen, I got shit to do. Right. Someday I'm going to have kids. I don't give a fuck about you, to be honest. Okay. What I care about is that I have my life set up in a way that allows me to kind of move and ebb and flow in the way in which I want to. And I wished I had somebody there earlier to say, bruh, this is what you're going to do. I don't care. This is what you're going to do, and this is what you're going to learn, and this is what we're doing this week, and this and that. But it's hard, man, because these industries are not they're not fully baked, man. Okay, they're not fully baked. It's a lot of bullshit, and you just gotta learn how to make it on your own. You need to learn how to come to a situation with some value and say, "This is my premium. What you gonna say?" And they're like, "Shit, all right, cool, we'll do it."
Yeah,
and that's really where we're at right now. So we got the playing together, you know. Dad bends and all. We got him.
Oh, dude, I've had that.
We got him. We got Dad bends. Okay.
I was like, Dad
bends. The injuries. We got to figure out the end. Well, you know, there was somebody that said some things, and you know who you are, and I heard you. And work on your bends. You know, curl something in the gym. Do something so you can bend your strings. Anyway,
what do you play, by the way? What's your gauge?
Tens now.
Okay.
Elixirs though.
So they feel a little bit thicker. They do.
They feel a little bit thicker, but they feel a little bit bendier, and they're fucking amazing.
Yeah, I like elixirs. I'm trying to get Diodario to do something with me. I've been on it for a long time. I just love them. I love Diodario, and I had this other company hit me up and give me some strings, and I did not like them. They broke way too fast. I mean, really fast. I fresh strings, broke on the gig, just replaced them, broke on the first song. And I was like, this has never happened. Diodario's didn't do that. So I'm waiting for that.
With elixirs? That happened with elixirs?
No. A random company that hit me up. It was like a very not very well. Sorry, a very like small company, and it happened twice. Once in practice, put on some new strings, broke within the day.
I remember you reached out one time and you were like, man, is it the bridge or something? I don't know. Like you were saying, I'm snapping strings like a motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that was one guitar. It was my sometimes in the factory certain things happen.
Yeah.
What I did, I just replaced the saddles, and it's been fine. None of the other guitars do that. It was just, I think something just happened in the factory that fucked up the high E string, so I just got new saddles. It was $40, and I got like graphite ones, and they've been amazing.
Sick.
But I did have it happen with a random set of strings, and anyway, I asked because I get asked that question all the time, because people are always like, I do bendy lessons, and they're like, well, what do you put? There must be nines. I was like, dude, I play 11s. I play 11s on everything.
Really?
This is the only guitar that has 10s. 11s.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, I play 11s on my Strat. I play 11s on this. I play 11s on.
Why do you do that? I mean, because like I'm all about like finger strength and all that kind of shit too. So I do 11s when I tune down a whole step.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's guitars have 11s, but a lot of them have 10s.
There's a couple of reasons. So for this guitar, I do not do 11s. This is 10s all the time, and because
the
Aries. The Aries, the Delos is always 11s. Fixed bridge. It helps.
Tuning?
The 7 string is 10s. 7 strings 10s.
Okay.
7 strings 10s, but that's a multi-scale. So it's like 10 to, I don't remember the low one.
So why do you do 11s?
So for this one, I like 11s because it's fixed bridge, and so it allows for a little bit more movement. Because when you have the strings, the springs bend, and I down tune this one pretty often. Like I do like drop D, or I'll do like half step down. So I just leave 11s on it. Same with the red Strat. But with my Kiesel Strat, which is like a bolt, which they don't make anymore, I do 11s. The action is so great on that thing that like 11s can still be so low. And there's something, it's a flat radius. It's 14 inches. So the 11s they just respond better to the guitar for me. Like when I did 10s, I just feel like something about the 10s on it. I'm like, I'll play like, I feel like the E string and the B string just feels and sounds thin. But when I do 11s, it feels like a beefier, and I'm able to get this like larger tone. It's a completely head thing. But I also like the feel. I like the feel of low action and like 11s. 11s with low action is like, and especially if the frets are at the right level, like you get every note has the perfect response because it's like this thick piece of metal. So I don't play the same on that instrument. Like I played it on all my top 40s gigs. So I tend to like, I don't, it's a top 40s gig. I'm not going to every once in a while I go off, and most of the time it surprises people because they're like, what the fuck? People in the band, because most of the guys in town, there's only a couple guys in town that like do the shreds.
Treat though. That must be a real treat, bro. Because like I know you, bro. I've been following you since forever, bro. Like we've been homies for a grip, dude. And I know you're a fucking monster, dude. And it must be crazy that you show up to these gigs and you're just like, and then you had a solo and you're just like that's
So
sick.
a lot. I will say, it's probably, this is going to sound weird, but it's like 70-30. 70% of the time, I am very much playing complementary to the song, and I am not trying to be flashy. But 30% of the time, depending on the band, because these bands,
that's what it is.
So these bands, they're constructed. It's random people every time. It's always, you get thrown on the gig with random people, and there's a set list, and everyone just knows the songs, and you just play them. So every gig I play is a new group of people, and I just get thrown on the gig. But it's a lot of the same songs, and everyone plays the songs the same. So depending on who I'm playing with, like there'll be a singer who like I know really well, and they'll be like, Mike Salo, take a solo, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm probably going to go for a minute. And then I'll just go for a while. And then the singers will go like this. They get excited and they start doing this. But if they don't know me, they'll just be like, I'll do a quick solo and then they'll kind of go back to singing. But the guys and the girls who know me are like, go. And then it's fun. And then I start to go off. It just depends. Cause like, it depends on the song. Like if I'm playing like a Chris Stapleton song, I'm not going to go wild. I'm going to play very emotive and bluesy. But if it's like, if I can play that funky music, I might be like, just like kind of go off and just go off for fucking 3 minutes or whatever.
Out, bro.
Yeah.
Goes out.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude. Oh, damn. That was going to bring me to a fucking question about that. And then I got off topic with that shit. But, okay.
The second bottle, man.
Dude, I know it's almost 11 o'clock. This has been 2 hours. This is a good one. We'll have to do more of these.
8:54 here, man.
It's 11 o'clock here.
Shit.
8:50. That adds up. That adds up. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, but the 11s thing, it's I think it suits the guitar well. It suits the guitar well. I think if I got a Delos and it felt good with tens, I would be playing tens. Right. It just kind of like, it just feels good on that guitar. I've done tens on it. I've always kind of been like, I put 11s on it and I was like, oh, like I really like the way this feels. So I just have done that.
Wow.
Yeah. And like this is tens, but sometimes I do 9.5s on that. There was a while I did 9.5s because Diodario does them. Wow. And I really liked it. I felt like just so smooth. Like a lot of my solo album is that guitar with 9.5s. It's
hard to know what to do because like you've got like another guy I really like, Strat Marshall.
Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't talked to him before.
Dude, yeah. We like FaceTimed one time or whatever. Super nice dude. Chicago. I was born in Chicago, so.
Where are you from originally again? You're from Pennsylvania or Boston?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, you are from Pennsylvania. Where in Pennsylvania?
Scranton.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
everyone knows Scranton.
Everybody knows Scranton now. Yeah, Scranton's the shit. I'm not gonna say that.
Well, dude, I'm from Earlville, Iowa. It's a 900 people. So Jesus whatever you. Christ. So yeah, it's not much.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm from the same kind of vibe, so I can talk shit. But great player, and he plays nines.
Yeah, dude.
Him and Brand. You said you were saying that Brandon Ellis, right?
No, I mentioned Ben Eller.
But Brandon Ellis. Have you heard of this guy?
Oh hell yeah, Black Dahlia.
Oh my fucking god.
The guy's a fucking nut.
I think he plays nines too, but he's gonna have to.
Dude, Matt Lettieri or Matt is it Mark Lettieri?
Mark Lettieri.
9.5s. That's how I got the 9.5 idea. Because I was like, oh, this guy plays funky motherfucker, plays 9.5s.
Because I mean, the only reason I went back to tens is because I started playing live again. I started like touring and stuff.
Yeah.
So it just felt more like, all right, I can rip into this, whatever. A bend's a bend, you know what I'm saying? And then I haven't switched. So I like tens, man. I
do too.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
I like the Elixir tens.
Yeah,
I'm a big Elixir guy.
Josh Smith plays like fucking 12s and 13s. Now, you know who that is? Josh Smith.
I saw him play live with. It was him. They were playing in Sherman Oaks. I remember years ago. Dude. Josh Smith, Matt Schofield, and Osnoy. Those three.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Josh is one of my favorite blues guitarists.
Incredible.
He's amazing. I've actually transcribed a lot of his stuff.
I still have a voice memo from that gig. It's like 50 minutes long. Bro, these guys are mercenaries.
Dude. So I should probably wrap it up here pretty soon. It's 11. So I'm time, guys. Yeah, well, I will do a lot of stuff. So I just want to ask a few more things, just mainly to get to the creating a life in music.
Got it. Let's do it.
So we've talked a lot about. So one of the main things I wanted to talk about it was the multiple sources of income and what you're doing. And there's no right or wrong answer in that. Like it's literally it's just educational. Like this is what I'm doing. Because I am going to do a solo version of this where I explain what I do. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to ask other people. I'm having Spyro Ducius. I don't know if you know Spyro.
I don't.
He's a young kid. He's 24. He's a monster player. And he's barely established in his words, he's like, I've really not really established my career. And it's like, dude, don't care. Like you're doing it. Like, let's hear. I just want to hear what people are doing and how they're doing it. Mm-hmm. Jude Smith is going to come on. He's a Instagram funk R&B dude that we've seen probably around a lot. You've probably seen Jude around a lot.
Put me on game, dude.
Yeah, dude. So like everyone does something different. And I think it's important to make that like, because I think people get so caught up in like, I have to gig. I have to teach and gig. I have to do this. And it's like, yeah, man, like, no, it's a music entrepreneurial thing. There's a lot of shit to do.
Let's go.
And you gotta pick a path, and you don't have to necessarily stick to that path. You can change halfway if now you have to think about your income and stuff. You do have to think about like, if I change, what happens? But sometimes you have to make the change. Like for me, shifting more towards online is something I've always wanted to do. And right now it's very much making sense. So I'm going to try to take that shift. Yeah. And it's obviously, going well for you as well.
Here's a question for you though on that. Question for you on that. What's your North Star though? Like what's your because I know for me, it's like I'm doing this because I want to master it. And I don't want anyone to be able to fuck with me. And I want to do whatever I want to do. But I do want to just gig on my stuff.
Right.
Okay. It would be worth losing a few, maybe 5-10 grand just to do something special that's going to be exclusive for people. So that's an idea that I got from a friend that I was like, wait a minute, you might be on shit, bro. So right? So like if you were just doing so good,
what would I cut out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And what would you also pursue? Would you go back to playing only your stuff?
Oh, 100%. So like so the whole kind of overarching goal is to essentially okay, so if I were to think of a perfect situation, it would be to flesh out some sort of, flesh out my website, flesh out YouTube, flesh out these podcasts. But like these, I see all as the same thing. I see YouTube, I see Instagram, I see this podcast, I see the subscription thing. I see if I did a Patreon, which I've been thinking very, very seriously about doing. I don't see those as separate things. It's kind of like all part of the same thing. Fleshing that out into a point where I can provide value to people and teach in the way that I want to teach and teach the things that I think are valuable to people. If at some point I cannot teach at the high school anymore, I'll throw it away. Like same with the gigs, like the local gigs. I actually really enjoy the local gigs. Like they're very fun because they're so easy. I get to hang with friends.
Yeah, but you're not going to enjoy it as much as having your own financial freedom. And I think
because it really.
I've heard your shit, and I'm just like, the world needs to hear Mike, man. We need more. We need more of your shit, man. We really do.
I appreciate that, man.
We really do.
Yeah, dude.
But I'm gonna interject, and I'm gonna be a little bit of an asshole right now, and I'm gonna kick your ass a little bit. Because, dude, man, we gotta be free to do our thing, and then we can decide. Because I know that you love doing gigs, and I know that, and I know what kind of player you are. You are very multifaceted. You are like.
That was a question I was gonna ask you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
So that was we're
vibing, man. We're on the same wave, dude.
That was the question I was going to ask you. Now I got to see how I wrote this out because I wrote it out very specifically. Actually, I probably didn't. All I said was, in your opinion, is it more important to be a well-rounded guitarist or musician, let's say it again. In your opinion, do you think it's more important to be a well-rounded musician that can wear many hats, or do you think it's more important to pick a lane and master that lane?
The Mad Hatter, the Mad Hatter approach. He's a very low-level villain. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
You want to
Because I'm constantly
villain? You want to be a high level villain? Wear one hat and be the craziest motherfucker ever. Okay. Because Mad Hatter's like DC, right? Who's the best villain in DC?
The best. I don't even know.
The Joker.
The Joker. Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
The Joker is the best one. Okay. And I would say even that he can rival Lex Luthor in a sense, right? They both do one thing. Now you can break apart their whole thing and look at a bunch of different things. No. Okay. Let's get real. Okay. They do one thing really fucking well. And I think that's what makes me a great entrepreneur. That's what's going to make me a great entrepreneur, is that there's one thing that I want to do. I just want to do it more than most people want to do it. If you want to play multi gigs and all this kind of stuff, look, dude, you can make tons of money doing that. You're just not going to feel fulfilled. It's that at some point you run out of it's the pursuit, right, of knowing that I did everything in my power to create a lane that allows me to have control of my fucking life.
Yeah, dude.
And I think that what you have to do, whether you like it or not, or whether you fuck with it or not, whether it's your thing or not, so you got to set yourself up in a way to be able to hang with people, you know what I'm saying? Cover the bill, do your thing, right? And then do what you've got to do. And a lot of people will look at me and go, oh, but you have to do this, you have to do that. I'm like, dude, I love doing that. Don't you understand?
One of the best things you can do as a musician is to protect your own hearing. I've been using these Eargasm high-fidelity earplugs for months now, and I really love them. They're nice and discreet, high quality, and they don't make any of the sound muffled. They let in the right frequencies that I need on gigs or at shows. You can get 10% off your order if you use code MSALO10 at checkout. That's my first initial M, my last name Salo, SALOW, 10 at checkout to get 10% off your order at eargasm.com.
The thing about business is that you got to own it. And you got to be willing to make adjustments on the fly. You got to be willing to make that adjustment. You got to know what that is. So you got to have somebody to consult with. And that's why I love having Lucas, because it's just like, dude, this week was really bad. Like this week for me was really bad.
What would happen?
It just was. It was really bad. And I'm not going to know until I talk to this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Or I'm not going to know until I I'm able to sit on it a little bit and think about like what happened.
Was it like with sales or just with other bullshit?
It was sales that came from other bullshit. I know what my funnel is, and I know that I didn't make certain content. Dude, you know the most money I make is off the content where I'm on the roof just talking shit. Like fuck like the actual playing. Fuck the lessons. It's me being on the rooftop being like, you know why you fucking suck, bro? Like, I'm serious, dude.
I believe you. I looked at your stuff and I noticed that your highest views was like 2.5 million on a fucking rooftop one.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Which, dude, my least favorite videos.
5 million? Are you serious?
I thought it was 2.5, 2.2 or something.
Holy shit, that's sick. I'm gonna go look.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, man, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, dude, you get that funnel down and it's like, you are such a great player, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And there's that. And I'm glad that you appreciate it, but also stop fucking around. You know?
I know.
And me too. And me too. That's the only reason I can say that. I will never say anything to you that I've never said to myself. No matter how it hurts. And the
same way.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like we're not charging high enough. And that's the thing. Like you're creating boundaries in your business. You're going, hey, you want to pay for this $127 shit? Cool. In fact, a lot of the guys that I tell to go to that $127 shit don't buy it because it's too fucking low, because they don't know that I have a medium tier. And then they're willing to just look through the fucking website and see that I've got the $1,500 version of whatever. So I really just got to be pushing that $1,500 mark.
For sure.
I just learned that talking to you right now. That's what I love about these masterminds. And I was reading this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it is the same thing we're doing right now. We've got to do this all the time, because We're in different parts of the world, but we think the same. And that's where it's becoming a little bit more gentrified, right? It's like, it's not gentrified in the sense of like race or, economic status. It's just like mindset.
Dude, totally. Not everyone's on the same page in your area. Like I can have conversations with family and friends here all the time, and Shelby is extremely supportive, but it's just, it's not,
It's not,
and even it's not the same. Like supportive is great, and that's what you need in a partner. But like you also need to sit here and like
you need results,
and you need to be able to like to brainstorm with a like-minded person who's like, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Like, this is how we need to think. Like, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? And in a positive environment.
Yes.
Because I have, oh no, sorry. I have friends who are, yeah, man, fuck this and fuck that and blah, 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 and this and that and fucking this or that. And it's like, yeah, man, totally. Let's just have some fucking beers. And that's just not conducive. Like I come out of this.
I just kicked my friend's ass. And you should, by the way, there's a lot of this that we need to leave in. Let's collaborate on how much of this goes in, because
well, I'll go through it and I'll like be able to cut some shit out too.
Yes, because
this stuff needs to stay in.
Yes, because I'm really good about like picking the stuff that really comes out of motherfucker's heart, and makes them respond. You need people to respond to your shit. You don't need them agreeing with you. Fuck that, bro. You know where you get your leads? You think okay, all right. I've got almost 100,000 followers right now, but okay, fine. But you know which ones that actually matter? The next 2,000 that are coming in. It's these motherfuckers, 100,000 of them didn't buy shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're not supporting me. They're thinking about it or whatever the fuck it is. It's the ones that are coming in that are going, dude, I've been needing this. Okay, so for example, Nick Valenci from The Strokes, the guitar player. Okay. Yep. Saw one of my posts and I've been teaching his kid for like months.
Dude.
Like shit like that.
That's so funny you've been saying that.
Shit like that.
I teach Chris Caraba from Dashboard Confessional.
Crazy.
So I've been teaching. I started teaching him like 7 months ago, and then he went on tour, came through town, and I was like, "Hey man, like, I see you're coming." I said, I see you're coming through town. He was like, "Yeah, I didn't even." He was like, "Come out," and he like got tickets for me and like my girlfriend and a friend of ours, and we went out and hung out with him and had some drinks. But it wasn't like it was more of like this. It was like, yeah, now I've been teaching you for 3 months, and now we're buds. So I've been teaching the lead singer of lead singer of Dashboard Confessional. Been teaching.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. That's weird how stuff happens. So, hey, last thing before I let you go here, and then we got to do, we obviously have to do this again, like 10 more times.
Yeah.
So last thing that I think is important, and I think it comes down to like, I think you've kind of already said it a bunch, but I guess if you could say like one piece of advice to people who are trying to like, I want to make a career in music. Like that's what I want to do for a living.
Yeah.
What do I do? What's your piece of advice? Like if you're like, do this, do this, do this. Like what's the main piece of advice you could give someone who wants to do music for a living?
Watch this fucking podcast 10 times. Watch it. I'm serious. Listen to everything that we just said in this, okay? Me and Mike have been doing this shit at the highest level for years and years and years and years and years. And if anybody deserves to fucking make it, if anybody is going to make it in the long haul, it's going to be guys like us. So what have we been talking about? We've been talking about value. We've been talking about sharing with others. A lot of you guys want to come out here, you're going to be famous, okay? You're fucking idiots, okay? There's no such thing as fame anymore, okay? Instagram is going to kick your ass. And all these guys are out here. But you know one thing that they're not doing? You know one thing they're not figuring out? How to give value. Value, 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 value. And if you can do that, and you can get people to pay a premium, okay, then you're making a living. And that's how you do it. It's freelance work is really what it is. We spent
100%.
hundreds of thousands of hours playing. They say, oh, it takes 10,000 hours to become a master. Dude, we've got hundreds of thousands of hours in the game. We're past that shit. Okay? So even when we're not practicing, we're practicing. We know what we're doing. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you got to fucking give a shit about people. Quit fucking around with motherfuckers that are like, pretending that they're cool and shit. Fuck that. Where are your fans? Where are the people that fuck with you? Ice-T was talking about that in a post the other day. I'm actually friends with his guitar player and Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I know that band.
Ernie C. Shout out. These guys understand. They've been around long enough to understand that you only fuck with people that fuck with your shit. You only fuck with people that support you. They buy badges. They sign up for your stuff. You know what I'm saying? They sign up for your services. It's not about being famous and sitting around on your ass and being a. Don't let me cuss too much, but you get what I'm saying? Enough. Guitar is too beautiful. Music is too beautiful of a thing for you to be sitting around trying to be famous. Show somebody some shit. Charge them so that they know how valuable your time is. Charge them the right thing and let them pay for it and let them feel that payment and let them understand that they're investing into an experience that is going to elevate their entire lives. And that's what music is. That's what music is. Sitting around on your fat fucking ass, being fucking famous, dude. I love to sit around. I love this. I had these guys on the psychologist's chair. What's your problem? Oh, you do too much cocaine. Oh, I wonder why. Like, you're not giving value. You know what I mean? You're not pushing yourself. You're not being a fucking. You're thinking about being a good guy. No. I'm not out here to be a good guy. I'm out here to be an effective man. You understand?
You provide value and a purpose. When you provide value, it gives you a purpose in your life. It creates this, like, it's almost like when, as I imagine, I don't have any kids, but when you have kids,
what are you going to teach them?
What it does when you have kids is, like, you are like, I have to provide value for these kids. So I have to do X, Y, and Z to provide such value.
Amen.
And for me, I don't have kids. So
I don't have kids yet either, but it's like when they come up, I don't want them getting wedgies and shit.
Right. And there's a couple things there where it's like, not only like, so that value of, like, I have to provide value for my children and my kids, you would have to extend that beyond and be like, I now have to provide value for myself in order to provide value for these kids. So, like,
yes,
I've heard people, like, who've had kids and, like, they just go insane with their productivity because they're like, now I have something to live for. But if you have that prior to kids, then it's like, once you have them, you think you just be like on fucking just insanity, like turbo time. Like if you already have that before you have children and then you have them, you would assume you'd be like kind of just an unstoppable machine after that. Cause, like, before I had kids, I was a machine of getting stuff done and making stuff happening for myself.
Your job now is to educate your kids.
Right.
When you know that you can educate your kids, when you know that you're going to give them some sort of value. And even if I don't know everything, right? If I don't know everything, then I'm going to be able to say to them, I know somebody. I know Mike. Go. If my kid wants to study guitar and he wants to know some, like, badass fusion shit, I'm like, yo, I'm going to fly you out to Minneapolis. Go fuck with my boy Mike. Go get with my boy Mike. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to know some valuable entrepreneurial shit, I've been working with Brad Lee's company for a little while. Okay, he don't know my name now. He don't know it now, but he will. And that's the thing. It's like, A lot of parents feel like they got to teach their kids everything. You don't know shit. All you did was fuck, and then you got a kid. Like that, you gotta fucking be humble. You gotta understand, like, there are resources around you. So the thing is like, I love what you said about that, because it's all about legacy. And I think the biggest thing that drives me, by the way, when we talk about North Star, is legacy, right? Best believe you better not try to wedgie my kids, bro.
Planned on it. I was thinking about it.
You better not touch them motherfuckers. They already ready. I'll be dead and gone. And they'll put your ass on the fucking roof and shit. Like, we don't fuck around in my family, man. And I think that's a big thing that I'm taking into this whole thing, and that I think that we all need to do, is that, like, we need to understand how things actually work. Enough of this collusion and, you know, fucking around at this party and wasting my fucking time at this after hours and all this kind of shit. You know what after hours are? They're all the kids who couldn't get fucking ass. All of them. Let me say it right now. If you can't leave the club in due time and get your ass some stuff going on, then you're going to end up at an after hours. You're fucking around. And that's a thing. That's the same thing. Apply that analogy to life, right? If you got to fuck with people that you don't even want to fuck with, then what the fuck, man? Like, I'm not trying to listen to you. I'm not trying to talk to you. And why am I here? I should be in bed. I got shit to do in the morning. I got to get up and work out. I got to get focused. I got to get my fucking dopamine up for the real shit. I got to get the sunlight. I got to get it. Like, come on, man. Who's winning in this situation? Me hanging around with you, crying about some fucking girl that dumped you, that don't fucking want you no more? Come on, man. Fuck you, man. Get your shit together, okay? We have way more value, especially in this guitar world. We have way more value than we think. But you're spending it, right? You're spending it around these motherfuckers that you think you should, because you think that they doing well because of the numbers here and all this kind of shit. Come on, man. I'm good, bro. Don't even worry about it. I'm good. I've been good. But I earned that. We earned that. You've earned that, Mike. And I've seen you for years do this shit. So don't let anything that anybody else does fuck with how you feel about what you do and the services you provide. You are a servant to the world. You're a servant. The moment it's outside of that, you're fucked.
Dude, it's funny you say all that shit, because it's literally everything I listen to every day. It's everything is like, just, you don't like it can be, it's hard, because like there are times when your closest friends, who I will not mention, can be the same people who are like, come on, man, hang out, let's do this thing, let's make this happen. It's like, yeah, I would love to, I would really love to, but like that's cutting right into what the fuck I'm trying to do right now. Like let's do a different time for that. It becomes very difficult, because it's like, my free time, if I'm being honest, every bit of free time that I don't schedule for my own business, my own shit to get done, becomes number one, maintaining a relationship, because it's like, she's supportive, she's the best. So if I want to keep her around, we gotta have our time. And that becomes like this hobby thing. Nah, that sounds bad. But like this thing of like,
it's cool.
It fills in that space of like, oh, now it's my time to relax, hanging out with the lady, hanging out with the dogs and the lady, doing stuff like that.
You gotta hang out with your lady. I know a lot of guys would be surprised for me to say that, but I got a lady. I had a lady. I mean, I keep my ladies.
Dude, if you want one, you can't just be like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want all the time. Yeah. No, you have to make time.
Yes, sir.
And that becomes every bit of my free time, which I am totally happy with. That's, it's like, well, if I want her around, like if I feel like she's as valuable as I think she is, and which sounds weird, but like she's 100% that, like
I love how you keep looking at when you talk about value, you look at your watch.
Oh, no. I'm actually looking more at like, that's a habit. That's a habit.
No, dude. That's what learning this new skill will do to you. Like I said,
Yeah.
right? If I lose 5 seconds interacting over some dumb shit with you, bruh, you're not respecting the fiscal quality of my time. You're not doing it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not, like, that's a real fucking thing. It's real. It is the only thing that matters. The time that I spend talking to you, right? If I'm on this podcast, I know I'm going to probably get a few sales, right? I know I
right.
Because we're both offering value, and so are you, right?
This is a one-time hang to have a good time with the bud, have some drinks, and
but because of the value that we share, because of the type of people that we are, and the type of people that we have cultivated over time, that's also going to help us help more people. And a lot of people don't understand that, right? They think that, what does homeboy say all the time, right? You see somebody rolling up in a fucking Bugatti or some shit, or a fucking Lamborghini. What do you think? He went to school? You think he was a nice guy? You think he was a fucking like nice guys finish last type of guy? Fuck no. You think he did something outside of the fucking box. And that's the thing about guitar players. What happened to that? What happened to fucking Nuno, man? What happened to fucking Vi, man? What happened to these guys?
Because these guys fucking stretched for it. They went for it.
And it's not just playing either. It's their personalities. It's who they were. And like, we're over here talking about scales and shit. Let's just fucking jam. Go to Fritz, man. That's it, man. That's it. That's it. Come on.
I think a big thing to take away from this whole
combo, man, by the way.
What's up?
I love this conversation, man.
Oh yeah, dude. I think a big thing to take away from the entire thing is like it's putting in the work. It's you know, you have all these ideas and all these things you want to happen. I'm not saying you, I'm saying people in general. Like, you have these things you want to happen in your life, and you have all these things that you want to do, and you sit there. So many people fucking put something out there and go like, yeah, I made this one thing and didn't do that well. Like, what was the point? It's like, yeah, you made one. Make fucking 100.
Yes,
make 100.
Yes, my man.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, you made one. Like, so I've been posting some videos on YouTube lately to try to like build up that audience. Yeah. Oh, I made 3 videos and they only have 200 views. Yeah, whatever, dude. Like, I'll make 50 more in the next 6 months or fucking year or whatever. Like,
right.
Consistency in the long game.
How many do you do a day, though? How many do you do a day, by the way? I'm super inspired by you, bro. You don't understand. Dude, I saw you at a certain level and I was like, what the fuck is this guy not doing? And I had to go do my thing.
I'm not consistent. That's my problem. That's my biggest problem. I'm not consistent.
You are, though, now. You are fucking a monster now. Bro.
So
that's what I'm talking about, man.
So there's a trick with that. And the biggest trick is that I discovered this from I follow so many, like, all the shit I follow on Instagram is like business minded shit. And one of the things I got that was like coming through my feed was, I don't remember his name. Shit. If I sent it to you, you'd be like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy fucking floating around. I follow like so many dudes on there. They're like business dudes. And he was like, yeah, post every day for 6 months and then go back and find your best posts, the ones that did the best, and then repost them and do that for the next 6 months while you're doing new stuff. So I was like, okay.
What does while you do new stuff mean? While you're
so say you post every day for 6 months. Right. And then you're continuing to create new content for the next 6 months, but then go back and then continue to reshare stuff that did very well in the previous 6 months. And now you have twice the content to produce and to share, because now let's say you shared stuff in fucking March that got you 2 million views or 600,000 views or 700,000 views. And there's maybe like 4 videos. Yeah. Fucking post them in September and then post them again in December and then post them again. As I do that shit all the time. I make new shit. I make a couple new ones every week. And I repost. I do half new ones, half reposts. And some weeks I do, complete new ones and no reposts. That way I can keep ahead of the game. So like I'm always trying to keep ahead of the backlog. And I was going to point out that one of my reposts
said today, my baby girl, she said today, I was like, bro, I was like, babe, I had this week's been tough.
Okay.
And it's fine. I know how to get through that, whatever. But I was like, but I don't want to keep going through this. Like, you know what I mean? It's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
She was like, have you tried reposting any of your past shit? I was like,
you haven't done that? Dude, you haven't done that?
I haven't done that, bro. I've been afraid to do it. Bro, we got to post this shit. We got to post the whole thing. Fuck it.
Dude, don't be afraid.
Wow.
Dude, that's what you have to do. Go back. You don't go back to last month. Go back to fucking June.
When I started. When I moved.
Go back.
May.
Dude, go back to June. Go back to July. Go back to August. Dude, it's fucking December in like 2 days. Right. Go back to fucking September. I repost shit that's 3 months old. Because it disappears.
You're right.
Dude, I repost. So one I've reposted a lot that I fucking hate is my fucking stupid, like, if you tap at the 17th fret and you play a pentatonic thing in the left hand, I reposted that shit like fucking 6 times and it just blows up.
I look at your content and I'm like, I know why it worked, but I'm like, I just want to kill myself.
Dude, fuck you.
And I know that it would. No, it's not you. It's just the content itself. It's the subject. So I'm just like, oh my God, everybody knows to fucking tap up on the fucking like pentatonic, but they don't. They don't.
Dude, I shared it one time. So the reason I share what I share and the reason I shared that is completely based off of student reaction. So a lot of the stuff I share is because I shared it with a student and the student went, whoa, what the fuck? How did I never notice that? And I'm like, yeah, I agree. I'm like, how did you never notice that? So when students have a very positive reaction to what I'm sharing, I write it down and then I make a video. And that's why some of my videos are like, you're like, yeah, dude, I know. Wow. And I get those comments.
Dude, you and I, like, we know how deep this rabbit hole goes. Like, we know about like chord changes and secondary dominance and like all this like modal interchange and like we're trying to teach that shit because we're trying to learn it too. And really, it's like, bro, the shit you learned 10 years ago is like way above the level that like anyone probably will ever touch. And that's like, there's no levels to us. We don't think about people in levels. We just think about like subjects. But yeah. Oh, wow. Anyway.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, well, I gotta kiss her and tell her thank you.
Yeah, I gotta take off. I accidentally left my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I've got several more saying like, yeah, well, it's okay. She'll forgive me.
I fucking love you, man. And when this video gets millions of views, and it will, she will think us both. It's gonna be okay. And bro, I wish you lived here, man.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Thank you for having me, man.
Of course. Yeah, we'll do it again. All right, man.
All right.
Have a good night, buddy.
You
It's
too.
good talking to you.
You too. Peace, man.